You are listening to a Dynamicworksproductions podcast. This show is available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio Network, and many, many more podcast services around the world. You can find all our content, music, videos, books, podcasts, and more on our website, www.dynamicworksproductions.com. Have questions, comments, or concerns for us? Head on over to the social tab on www.dynamicworksproductions.com if you'd like to talk to us. Now, on with the show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Fork in Your Ear podcast. I'm your host, as always, author, podcaster, gamer, and very frequent streamer, Tim K. Trotter. Joining me, as always, in the hot seat with a backseat driver, one the only, Nate Fu.
Howdy, howdy. Yeah, no, I got the wife in the office with me, which means I have to watch what I say. I can't be my usual unhinged self, which is a lie. She knows.
Unhinged?
Unhinged, right. It does mean that there is a very off chance that we have small shenanigans busting in at some point in time, because that's become an issue lately.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, and if, right on cue, wasn't barking for the last 3 hours, the dogs start.
Gotta love it.
I hate it. Usually, most of the barks don't make it in the cut. But right now, I'm in audio pain.
Right. Oh, and so is your co-host. He hears everything.
Oh yeah, that's right. You hear all this because you don't get any of the filters.
If it makes it into the mic, it makes it into my ears.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we probably have a lot of stuff to talk about. I feel like there's a lot of things that have occurred. There was way too many things for me to write down. I started to jot down some since the last 2 days.
Oh, good.
Because this week kicked my ass work-wise. But yeah, it's the customary 14 days before we see each other. And a lot could happen in 2 weeks, folks.
Yes, that is true.
And it seems like it did.
Talked about pre-show, yes.
So let's get into it with the old spin of the ring.
Spinorama and games, right?
We landed in water, which you'd think that's entertainment, actually.
That's entertainment.
The one thing that I didn't type anything in, other than the fact that I guess you you saw a speed racer car?
Yeah, would that be considered entertainment or life?
I mean,
I guess a little bit of both.
I'm in that weird age of being old enough to remember reruns of Speed Racer on Toonami, not the original run, but also being of an age that I actually liked the Wachowskis' Speed Racer film. Back in,
which...
God, what was that? 2008? I don't know.
Something like that, yeah. And I believe this is it was a replica of that version.
Right, since it was practical.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. I guess. What, I don't even know. What real car is under there?
That is actually a I'd say a mid 2010s era Corvette.
Okay, it's okay. Yeah, I guess the nose, and then they extended the nose with the little like 3 fingers. It's very Corvette-y, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
okay.
actually, I looked at the interior and I was like, this looks like a mid or late '60s, early '70s Corvette. And he goes, actually, it's a C7 platform. And I'm like, oh, that's modern.
Fair enough.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's like just going over to a friend's house, and they live that bohemian industrial loft life. They operate their business out of there, and then like built-in quarters in the back. So yeah, it's basically the Mach 5 is sitting in his living room.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's definitely not something I expected to see on our Discord feeds. You just plopping them in there randomly.
Well, yeah, we've had that conversation before. Like, I just, because of where I live, I live Hollywood adjacent in, the fabled San Fernando Valley.
Sure.
Celebrity sightings aren't horribly uncommon out here. So
yeah,
I do have my run-ins from here to there, from here and there. And then, of course, I come across, project cars. The mechanic I used to go to, the upholstery shop next door, was the one that originally upholstered the OG television show Batmobile.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sure. Why not?
So, yeah. It comes in every now and then for a reupholstery job before, like, Comic-Cons and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, okay. So the stuff that's actually written in our Discord on entertainment, I don't think we covered this in the last podcast since it was posted on July 31st. So I was probably editing the podcast that day, would be my guess. Maybe.
Let's see.
I don't know. But unfortunately, Star Trek royalty Nichelle Nichols has passed away at the age of 89.
Yes. No, that was not talked about in the last show because that was one of those. I had the opportunity to meet her in person because she lived two doors down from a friend of mine. God. Yeah. And we'd go out and walk his dog, and she'd just be hanging out in the front yard.
Sure.
Stop and talk because neighbor lived two doors down from her, and so he was already familiar with her. Like, hey, how's it going? Blah blah blah. And then I dog sat for him once, and had to take the dog for a walk, and she saw me walking him without my friend. Was like, oh, everything okay? Yeah, they went out of town, so I'm over here watching the dog, and we just sat and chatted. Just very nice, very sweet lady.
Never came up the fact that she's perhaps one of the most famous Black actresses in recent history.
Sure.
Like, okay, cool. Well, that's cool. That it sounds like, by all accounts, she was a lovely lady in person, in the real.
Again, it's one of those things you get. You tend not to get starstruck when you live out here because, again, it's the exposure is there.
I guess so. Like, I guess that's more of a Washington thing. Like, we're way more likely to run into any rich person or CEO of Starbucks, Bill Gates, et cetera, tech people who make video games, being like, hey, weren't you on a Vidoc for Bungie? You know, like, we're way more likely to do that here in this state than yours is. Hollywood fame.
And it's not, they're living their lives. They're not on the clock. They're not working, kind of thing.
Right. Exactly.
So it puts different context. One of our favorite celebrity sightings was the night or the morning. Wifey behind me. We'd pulled an all-nighter at Starbucks, and we were just playing gin rummy, just passing time. And somewhere around, what would you say, 6 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, he's consulting. He's consulting with his backseat.
The Camerons.
The sun was up.
Yeah, the sun had just come up, and Kirk and Candace Cameron decided to grace our desk and proselytize to us.
So I feel dated because I don't know who those people are.
Candace Cameron, Full House, Kirk Cameron.
Well, okay then.
What was it? What was the show he was in?
My God.
Wifey's Googling. But yeah.
Dang. And just like that, Nate gets the first intern at the Work in Your Ear podcast.
Growing pains. There you go. Growing pains.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, all right then.
Yeah, you might be a little young for that particular show.
I guess so. Yeah, you had me at Full House, and then Growing Pains
Right.
is like, I'm aware it exists.
But yeah, for the people that know, yeah, that was, you know, they were quite the power couple, and they're using their powers to promote their religion, which again, more power to them.
Hmm.
But yeah, it wasn't something I was expecting at a corner Starbucks at 6:00 in the morning.
Fair enough. Out there with the references, the proselytize. I don't know that word. And that's rare for me that I don't know a word on this show for sure.
Basically, for anyone, it's, you know, the people that go door to door, you know, door knocking, their religion. That's considered proselytizing.
Okay, fair enough. The more you know, kids.
Yeah.
Copyrighted
Today
music
I
insert
learned.
here.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nichelle Nichols passed away at 89. I don't know the cause. I didn't put a link. I'm assuming it was just natural causes.
Yeah, because I haven't heard anything other than that. You know, whereas the other celeb we just recently lost, Olivia Newton-John, of Grease fame.
Sure.
She died. I want to say she was in her late 60s.
Yeah, it was something like that. Well, and
yeah,
then
she had an ongoing battle with cancers throughout her lifetime. So
unfortunate cancer. Bad. Yep. Those who've been listening a long time know I've lost way too many people that I personally know to cancer. About cancer. Agreed. And then recently, like yesterday, was Anne Hesh. Which spiraled into a way more complicated story than what was first reported on 3 days ago.
Also basically in my backyard as well.
Oh, man. Because like at the first, it was like Anne Hesh gets hit by a drunk driver in her home, hospitalized. And then it went, no, Anne Hesh was on narcotics and she was the one who crashed into the home and injured whomever was living in that home.
Here's the Ring camera that happened as she's doing 50 down the street after hitting another car, flying down the street and going into someone's house, setting it on fire.
Oh, God. Speaking of entertainment, because you just said it and I just remembered it. So Amazon's doing a Ring camera funniest times videos thing called Ring Nation with Wanda Sykes.
I heard about that.
I read that and I went, that's awful.
from the same people that brought you Live PD to give you the
like, what the fuck? Like, we don't need that. We seriously don't. In this age of the internet,
we so need that.
Do we? I don't think so.
At this point, I think we've pushed past the point where it's creepy, where it's just got to be thrown in your face before anyone's going to go, all right, look, we've allowed Amazon to surveil us way too long. This now that we see what's actually being recorded, this is enough.
Well, and don't forget, they're coming for your house data. More on that in Tech Talk.
Not just for propelling cats and cute videos.
Yeah. But anyway, I didn't know Anne Hesh had such a troubled history with narcotics until I started reading all the things. And there's police reports from 4 years ago about her being fucking naked in somebody's house in their bathtub or some shit. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, she's had a pretty interesting life post DeGeneres.
Yeah, and that was I totally skipped by that. I mean, I probably heard it, but I didn't register that it was Anne Hesh, like way back in '97, because it was '97. But I didn't know that she had come out with Ellen DeGeneres then, and then I guess proceeded to marry a man or something.
Yes.
But for me, her defining performance was actually voiceover. She voiced the 40-year-old offspring of a character in the Legend of Korra animated series from the first series, Avatar: Last Airbender. I think she was police chief. She was police chief Beifong in that series. And I remember that it was like, oh man, she does this tough old bird thing really well in voice.
Right.
But apparently was rather fractured as a human, which is unfortunate. But you know,
it's very, very common, unfortunately, in Hollywood.
Right? That's you know, you get the cat?
No.
Duplo block?
Gravity.
Oh.
gravity and slick surfaces.
Mm.
Don't put your phone on a slightly curved plastic surface and expect it to stay there.
Facts.
Yeah.
So some stuff that wasn't oh no, I guess we have one more thing that was posted. So Warner Brothers Discovery's new CEO, David Zaslav, announced that DC Films will follow a 10-year plan similar to what Disney and Marvel have done. Now, this is hilarious on many counts.
Mhm.
Number one, because this is not the first time they've announced that they're going to do a 10-year plan just like Disney and Marvel.
Mhm.
Number two, I was scrolling on Twitter, and there was, for any of you Watchmen fans out there who are familiar with Dr. Manhattan, and he exists in all timelines and realities simultaneously. He's omnipresent. And so his dialogue is like, the year is like 1976, and, you know, such and so is getting shot, you know, while simultaneously the year is 2010 and I'm having coffee with this person or whatever. And so
Right.
there was this hilarious meme cutout of that from the comic book of the year is 2000 and DC announced a 10-year plan. The year is 2008 and DC announced a 10-year plan.
Right.
The year is 2023. DC's announcing a 10-year plan.
A 10-year plan.
And then it ended with the year is 2028 and DC is announcing a new 10-year plan to replace the prior 10-year plan. Oh, I died laughing. It was very good.
And the
It's very
irony
good
is they announced this 10-year plan and immediately cancel one of the movies.
They've canceled like so much stuff already.
Yeah.
So,
Which that and I'm already seeing the fallout from Discovery, Warner, HBO.
well, and what sucks is, I think we even said on the show months ago, like April. It's like, oh, well, it seems like he's making the right calls for things. And this weird gutting of all things DC is a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they canceled the Batgirl movie, which is done.
Yes, it was in post.
It's in post, so at least it was all shot, you know. But by all accounts, you know, it's not like a crazy special effects film like Aquaman is going to be, you know. They canceled. They said actually today that the Batman 2 that was announced at CinemaCon is not actually officially greenlit yet, which is like, what the fuck?
Oh, you better figure that one out real quick.
Yeah. Yet we can announce Joker 2, insert some French bullshit words here with fucking Joaquin Phoenix returning. Joaquin, whatever. Close enough. And fucking Lady Gaga.
Right.
And it's like
Lady Gaga as fucking Harley Quinn.
I swear to Christ, if it's that weird movie's interpretation of Harley Quinn. I mean, I already don't want to see the movie just because I have such a consternated feeling towards the original film, with it being a great film, but a terrible Joker film.
Oh, you didn't like Joaquin Phoenix, or you didn't like
I thought
the whole concept of the movie?
I thought it was a great film, but it's a terrible Joker movie.
Fair. Okay.
Like, that's...
I haven't seen it because I had no desire to see it. I was just like, what is this happy horseshit?
You know, it's trying to be like a fucking art house Breaking Bad-esque movie, right? With the supposition going into it that it's all about Joker's mental illness and how the world has wronged him.
Gotcha.
And it's like, that's not really the Joker, though.
Right.
Just
I like acid bath Joker. Thank you very much.
Yeah, there's none of that in this whatsoever. Like it's like I said, it's a complicated. If you were to tell me that movie was called Clown's Bad Day or some shit,
right?
You know, and it had literally, because the only thing in that film that even remotely ties it to DC is the fact that it's in Gotham and there's a Thomas Wayne. That's it.
Right.
That is literally it. You know?
Yeah, when I saw the trailer for it, it looked like basically another retelling of it was a Michael Douglas movie way back when called Falling Down.
I don't think I saw that one, but I'm a Michael Douglas fan, and I've seen actually a pretty large selection of his older films.
Yeah, and it's probably older, and basically he just, you know, the weight of the world crashes down on him, and he slowly goes insane. And starts lashing back out, and it's just like I saw this and I went, okay, it's falling down.
Exactly like the Joker premise. So
yeah, and I'm like, it's falling down all over again, and with worse actors and clown makeup.
Yeah,
okay,
but not to
go watch Falling Down. Let me know what you think of it. Since you've seen both.
Not to belabor the point of my dismay for the Joker movie, because we know our own Buster Knuckle loves that fucking movie,
and that's fine. I'm not knocking it, but
I am. But
something I told my kid earlier this week, you're allowed to be wrong. It's okay.
Oh, that's a good one. I feel like that's an important lesson that I guess a lot of people from my generation do not understand.
Right.
You know?
What was that, honey?
Oh, Backseat. Oh. Backseat's commenting.
I was being told my sister-in-law has that saying on a shirt.
Oh, it's
that
okay
my
to
wife
be wrong.
made for her.
Oh, nice. Because she's wrong all the time, or because she should learn that lesson?
Oh, no. Sister is very, very, very judgy at people. So she likes to wear her opinions right out in front. And my wife has a Cricut, so she's more than happy to oblige. The Cricut craft maker thing, you can basically laser cut anything out, make stickers.
Oh, okay. Like a
make
little
signs. Don't show your wife one of these. Yeah.
I mean, she's not a crafts person. Well, no, I shouldn't take that back. She's not a crafts person, but I remember when she was working in childcare, she did bring home like craft shit all the fucking time. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Maybe she is.
Yeah. If you ever want to make sure your wife stays home, folks on the internet, buy her a Cricut. You'll end up with live, laugh, love signs and wine cheese boards and random T-shirts with her political opinions or whatever else on. Hold on.
Oh, she's given.
I've never made shit that says live, laugh, love, and I don't do wine cheese boards.
No, but your cousin does.
Well, she doesn't.
They're called a charcuterie board. Thank you very much.
They're called a charcuterie board. I got corrected by Tim. They're called a charcuterie board. Charcuterie board. There you go.
It's charcuterie.
Charcuterie. Yeah.
See, and I only know this because we've made many charcuterie boards here, and yet don't own an actual charcuterie board, even though I like what's on them.
Yes. We're gonna get in the chafing dish conversation from Hot Shots.
Okay. So anyway, DC's canceling stuff. They've already canceled. I have to look up a list. Flash is canceled on CW, so they're ending in season 9, which is way too long.
Right.
About 5 seasons ago. All the other CW shows are basically canceled.
Mm-hmm.
The Wonder Twins movie is canceled. The Blue Beetle movie that already has cast and director and stuff has not been spoken about at all, and people are assuming is canceled. And now fans are also worried that the what was it called? I forget what it called, but it was the DC exclusive DC Universe platform that had comics and TV shows that were exclusive to it before HBO Max came about, and then all that shit merged over there. Is Titans and Doom Patrol, which are largely super well received. I've seen the first 2 seasons of Doom Patrol. Excellent show. Rumor is that they're on the chopping block, so the fans are really going to bat for that.
Right. Like the only thing that's safe at this point is what, Black Adam?
Black Adam and Shazam, because they're done in post.
Shazam. Yeah.
Because Black Adam's got, the marketability of Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and also Black Adam is actually a pretty popular character. And Aquaman is safe, although that was always kind of safe since that's coming out next year, and it's super, super, super heavy special effects post on that one.
Right, and they already cut out the train wreck.
Well, by legal accounts, they cut her down by like 63% or whatever.
Right.
Which was already apparently smaller because of whatever, which is fine. And then, of course, there's the train wreck that's going on with the Flash movie. Not just from the fact that the movie has been in development hell for like a decade, and then they finally shot it, and then Ezra Miller is committing every possible crime and felony in all of the different states as much as possible.
But yeah, Ezra Miller's just like, hold my beer.
Sure. But yeah, Ezra Miller committing a lot of crimes.
Yeah.
And then because wife does all the crime stuff like a binge addict, she looked into all of his stuff, and apparently he's got like 40 counts of possession of LSD. So most likely he's doing wacky shit on LSD and drinking. So, not to mention all the weird.
And again, more
shit.
power to him. Just don't.
Not really. No.
Don't hop in your car and go driving 90 down a freeway while you're doing
that's Anne Hesh's thing.
Right.
But no longer. We took a weird turn. We went into Hollywood and everything got weird. Surprise.
Took a wrong turn and ended up in someone's living room setting their house on fire. Oh, we're just going to pick on Anne Hesh. I'm sorry.
We're,
not kicking the dead. Not kicking the dead.
Well, she's only brain dead, so
she's officially gone.
Well, in the state of California, did something happen today?
Yeah.
Oh, it did? Okay. I wasn't really on things today.
Yeah, it got announced. She officially passed today. So,
I mean, that's something. I mean, the article that I read the day before, because I guess state of California brain dead is considered legally dead in your state.
Yeah, the only reason they were keeping her alive at that point was she was a donor. So they were basically at that point going, are any of her organs viable that we have anyone on the list, right? Keep the blood pumping before you pull the thing, and go, she's got a kidney. There's someone on the list she's compatible with. Yoink the kidney.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
Obviously, yes, you can take them out, put them on ice, but they become less viable. So.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's a process.
Yeah, so then the other thing on the Flash thing with Ezra Miller, not to get into all of his legal problems because there's so fucking many, is I guess David Zaslav said a quote that they are considering 3 options with the film. They're considering releasing it as is with absolutely zero press, which is hilarious, I guess, in its own right. I don't know. It's a weird tack, but okay. They're also considering releasing it with limited press, but making some contractual thing with Ezra Miller after rehab and some kind of apology tour thing. And then the third is obviously shelving it forever. Because something that the fans threw out was like, well, why don't you replace him with the fucking CW Flash star who's not a fucking addict and then does his fucking job like a human? And then I guess the director or something like that, somebody from the crew tweeted out, they're like, this is not a scenario where that comedian that was cut out of the that zombie movie, Zack Snyder's zombie movie on Netflix, that got replaced with Tig, what's her last name? Tig Murray. The girl who's in the engineering department on Star Trek Discovery now.
Okay.
Because she was digitally replaced she wasn't actually in that film, but she was on the green screen. And
it's another one. When it was the comedian that was in Deadpool, one of those situations.
Oh, well, I mean, he fell out of Hollywood, but what do you mean with him?
Well,
with TJ Miller.
Yeah, T.J. Miller. It was they contemplated recasting the role.
Did they?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And
because I knew his problems did start around then.
Yeah, and
or at least
and I think the thing with the Ezra Miller, it's just like you already made your bed, just fucking lay in it. Like,
Sure.
is the product entertaining? Great. Right.
Everyone's
gotten paid unless his contract is something, percentages of market.
Well, I think somebody did the math legal wise that if the movie got shelved because it's already being much more close to being finished than the Batgirl movie was, because of post, because it's been done for like a year and a half or something. And it was just kind of being held for release time placement.
Yes.
Marketing. There we go. That because it was a super expensive movie to make, it was like a $400 million movie to make because it had Michael Keaton and other Batman and all kinds of fucking people in it and whatever special effects go into it that we don't know about, but we can assume is a lot since he's the Flash. Somebody from the production crew tweeted out that like the option of just like digitally replacing him with a digital actor would be horrendously expensive since he's in every scene.
Right.
This is not a
Sonic. This is an ugly Sonic. Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but isn't that kind of?
But it's on that scale.
But that's like, but that actually happened though.
Right.
Like he did get replaced in every single scene except for one. And it was a wide shot. You couldn't really tell unless you're really looking. I know the scene because I point it out every time I watch it.
Right.
but
yeah, you're replacing a CG character with a CG character.
That's true. That is also a slightly different scenario than a fucking full human. So yeah, I suppose that's probably the exception to the rule, right? I guess. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, so my personal opinion is let's be done with this Ezra Miller fellow. He's fucking unhinged. But I've enjoyed his acting a lot. So he's like at the first part of Robert Downey, right? He needs to do the back half of the Downey stuff where he gets the help.
He's pushing more of the Kevin Spacey, but yeah.
Oh, really? You think the Kevin Spacey thing?
Yeah.
Because of the what was it? The grooming thing?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
But yeah, and again, like Kevin Spacey, shithead that he is, like I still enjoy all of his old movies.
True.
Right?
Yeah, I think he's a phenomenal actor. Speaking of which, did you hear that they actually finally finished that whole court case thing with Netflix and the investigation? And now he owes them $60 million for the final season of House of Cards for Kevin Spacey.
Cool.
And
yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, he's wrong.
Right.
There you go. $60 million worth wrong. That's a lot. That's a lot of wrong right there.
To all those folks in Hollywood, all it takes is one misstep and your career goes bye-bye.
Well, especially these days.
Yeah.
In the pre-COVID to COVID era, it's one thing. I personally hope the movie comes out just because I want to see Michael Keaton again as Batman.
Right. That's what two movies now that he's basically like, hey, I'm going to be Batman again.
And that's right. Because he was Batman in Batgirl somehow.
He's sitting there just going, come on.
Well, and you got to feel bad for, what was it, J.K. Simmons, right? Who's playing the DCU Commissioner Gordon. Because remember years ago, when Justice League was on track to coming out before everything that bad happened with the movie and Zack Snyder's family. And he was getting super just fucking jacked as fuck on like Twitter. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to be a badass Commissioner Gordon. Then you see the movie and he has one scene in it. And then if you see the Zack Snyder's director's cut, you're like, oh yeah, no, he's a fucking badass in that movie. He's fucking slaying out aliens and shit with a shotgun. Hell yeah. But it's like that poor actor at the same time is like, God damn it, not again as well. Because it already happened on Justice League. So, yeah, those things. Yeah, I guess that's about it for, Kung Fu Panda 4 was announced. I'm excited because I like Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I did see the first episode of the Kung Fu Panda show that's on Netflix that does have Jack Black in it.
I have not.
It's good. It's not amazeballs, but it's good. It was the first episode, so it could get better. But apparently they announced Kung Fu Panda 4 because of the success of the Netflix show. So it must be doing some kind of numbers over on Netflix.
And it's got to be.
So that's cool. Look forward to that. Oh, and then, of course, dearest to my heart, even more close than Kung Fu Panda, because I love Kung Fu Panda, is they announced December 20, 2023, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 theaters.
Oh, goody.
And I'm like, yeah, Christmas, let's go. I texted my wife the second they made that announcement. I said, honey, I know what I want for Christmas in 2023. And she didn't know what it was. And so she freaked out thinking some big expensive thing was happening. And I was like, no, you got to go to the theater with me. She's like, no, the third one. And I was like, yeah. So I'm excited.
That's how my wife feels about the Terminator franchise.
Fair enough.
It's okay. She's allowed to be wrong.
There you go.
Yeah, the only other thing I have in entertainment, being a parent, if anyone else who has kids, there's a new season of Bluey out. And if anyone, again, that has kids, Bluey is an Australian-made for kids cartoon that is probably the most endearing kids cartoon I've ever watched.
Okay. What's the back of the DVD cover say? There
is no DVD cover.
That's a joke because there is none of that. I'm saying, what would be the gist synopsis of what's it about? It's Bluey just a dog, a cat? What is it?
Bluey, yeah, Bluey is a dog.
Okay.
A blue heeler. I guess that's an Australian breed of dog.
Okay.
And basically, how would you describe Bluey if you were giving it? He says, "What's the back of the DVD cover say?"
It's an accurate picture of parenthood, and you have young kids. I think Bluey's 5 or 6, and Bingo's supposed to be 4. And
so right about the same age as our kids.
Okay.
The dad's an engineer or some shit like that. Can I swear?
Yeah.
Sorry. I haven't been listening.
Can you swear?
So yeah, the dad's
please let your wife know what kind of show you're on.
And the mom works in an office or something, and the kids have insane imagination, so it's just about real family life.
Okay.
Right? It's real. It feels real.
Okay.
It's very accurate. It's very relatable.
Okay.
Whereas, mom doesn't have superpowers and dad isn't, he's a blue collar worker that goes to work every day. He's smart. His kids are smart and they need to be engaged, and they come up with very interesting ways of doing so without being special effecty.
Okay.
So.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
I guess that leaves what else have you been watching?
Well, Orville wrapped up its season finale.
I still haven't seen past the second episode. I know.
It was a very satisfying ending. I would almost say it exceeds the Strange New Worlds finale.
Oh, that's some big words there, Chief.
I know. So I would say it almost exceeds that.
Oh, okay. Almost is the verb you're using. Okay. Gotcha.
It is very, very close. And then, of course, I'm keeping up with everything that I'm thinking kind of coming true with Westworld.
Okay. I mean,
starting to figure out the backgrounds and the time hops.
Speaking of Westworld, did you see last weekend's?
Yes.
What the fuck is tomorrow's episode gonna be about? Last week's episode was a fucking season finale. What the shit?
Right. Well, everything was open ended. So basically, they're gonna have to go up and go around and.
Like we have to create a huge.
There are 4 bows that definitely need to be tied up.
Okay.
Potentially 7 bows, but they're kind of depending on the timeline you're in.
Sure. Okay.
Like Bernard's just a trip.
Yeah, I mean, well, and it's so difficult with Westworld, and I guess I don't want to speak in it too much because we're basically close to the finale now. So I'm not going to really give away spoilers, but it's just like, it's hard to tell in Westworld when somebody's truly dead. I feel like that is an accurate statement you can make for the entire series.
Well, in Westworld, it's hard to tell when someone is truly alive either.
Both statements can be true. And like you've been saying, you can also be wrong.
Right. And you're allowed to be wrong. And it's also hard to tell when someone is. Like, just when.
Yeah.
Like, Bernard's easy this season because there's hair or none.
Okay.
But like Charlotte, that whole character, I've been like, oh.
Yeah, Charlotte's across the whole series has been wild.
Right.
That's for sure.
Caleb as well. Like, Caleb seems to be existing in all of them.
Yeah.
But we're still waiting on to figure out what the whole deal is with Dolores.
Yeah, right? Like, I feel like that's going to have to come. It's going to have to be something.
That's got to be it. That's got to be the focus of tomorrow.
It's got to be something. Right? Because it ended on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, cool. But also, what? Speaking of shows getting close to the finale, in this case, the series finale, we're 1 episode away. I know you guys don't watch it, but we're 1 episode away of Better Call Saul finishing its series run. And man, the last 4 episodes have been what a trip. What a trip.
Sure. I've heard nothing but good things from it and Breaking Bad. By the time everyone kind of figured out Breaking Bad was good, I was already too far behind.
Well, I'm sure it's available on some streaming thing.
Oh, it is.
100% worth it. Though I would say, especially now that we're 1 episode away from finishing Better Call Saul, which is a prequel, I would not start Better Call Saul first. I would do Breaking Bad first because there's just too much stuff that is like, oh, that's how that happened. And oh, this is why this is. That are like revelations only if you've seen Breaking Bad.
Gotcha.
To other people, they'll just be like, oh, okay, that's a thing. That's happening. Okay. All right. Oh, I wonder how that happens. When the majority of the audience is like, yo, we know exactly what happens after that person walks through that door, or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's put itself in a position where the finale is Monday, and me and the wife looked at each other after last week's episode and we're like, we have no fucking idea what is going to happen in the next episode. Which is kind of weird to say about this series since it's a prequel.
Sure.
And it's like, I have not a fucking clue how shit's gonna play out. Because they have done such a good job of fucking with you if you've seen Breaking Bad. And I'm just like, man, I don't know. Maybe this character that's alive in the other series is going to somehow die and be replaced with a robot. I don't know what's going to happen. It's not that kind of show. But
right.
I'm like, I don't know. It could happen. I don't know how it's going to end. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see what me and the wife been watching. We've been watching handfuls of Castle here and there on season 3. Always a good show.
Always a good show.
I tolerate it.
Do you ever find yourself whistling the damn theme song throughout the day?
No.
I do.
But I'm a fan of that composer, Robert Duncan, who did the final season, very strangely, the last season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He did some really fucking cool shit. He's done some cool shit since, too. Very underrated composer, in my opinion. Wish there was a soundtrack for Castle. Because there are good...
Probably way too many licensing fees with the snips and clippets they take out of that.
Maybe? I don't know. I feel like... I don't know.
I mean, I could put that whistle theme on loop.
Well, I mean, sure. So, like I said, that's always fun, mostly because of Nathan Fillion, because I don't do cop procedurals, but my wife does all of them.
It's a great mix of both.
Yeah, I'm finding myself. So what it's been is she'll want to watch a Castle, and I'll be like, okay, cool. And then I'll take my Switch out of the dock and put it behind me.
Right. And you stick around for all the Nathan Fillion parts, and you turn off all the...
Well, but I've been finding that, in season 3, the storylines are really good. I've been like, oh, hey, that's actually kind of a cool thing. Oh, or I'll be like, oh,
what I find hilarious is season 3 was one of those. That's where I started falling off of the series, because again, we've had this conversation with, what was it, CSI, the original CSI Vegas.
I mean, maybe. I don't watch CSI, so I don't recall that conversation, but maybe.
Oh, sorry. I think I likened it to X-Files. The first season was, Monster of the Week, and then it started getting to, in season 3 of Castle was one of those where it started getting into pervasive storyline and less of the crime of the week.
I mean, it's still crime of the week, but we just watched one that had like a rope strangling serial killer that got away. And I was like, ooh, he'll be back. Excellent. That was a good episode. We literally just watched that one tonight. And, I found myself, paying a lot of attention to it, and then, letting my characters die in Xenoblade on accident.
So when you're done with this season of Castle again, you'll have to fire up the Rookie at some point in time.
It's funny. We've been talking about that. We actually talked about that recently with the in-laws, because my father-in-law just went back to work last week after that leg injury from trying to save a drowning person that wasn't in the car. Did I not tell this story on the show?
No. Maybe.
Right.
Life story. Entertainment.
Life story. My father-in-law is...
No. We'll get to it in life stories.
Oh,
it's entertainment.
Right. This is the wrong
Here
you
topic.
Go. Good co-host. Anyways, entertainment. What else did I watch? We're caught up on the current season of MasterChef.
No, we were talking about Rookie.
Oh.
You said you and the wife were talking about that.
Yeah, we were talking about it because we were at the in-laws, and my father-in-law went back to work, and it came up in conversation because we were talking about Castle, and because obviously he's a cop. He was like, yeah, the Rookie's pretty good. He's like, it's not realistic, but it's pretty good.
No, it's definitely not realistic.
Well,
but yeah, it's like everything you'd like about Castle. But now picture Castle as the detective himself.
Yeah.
So
I'm aware of what the show is.
Yeah. It's wholesome.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, Nathan Fillion seems kind of wholesome.
Seems. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's funny. I actually was listening to a podcast. Michael Rosenbaum's Inside of You, and he had Nathan Fillion on for like the 80th time or something.
Because that's what you do. Michael
Rosenbaum, for those who don't know, was Lex Luthor in Smallville. And now does a podcast where he interviews celebrities and directors and all kinds of stuff. And he's a really good podcaster. He's a really good interviewer since he's had all the hats in Hollywood of directing and writing and acting and being on a super mega famous TV show. But yeah, there was a thing on there.
I still liked him in Pool Hall Junkies best.
Pool Hall Junkies. I don't know if I saw that one.
Dude,
should I
get on it? Is that
an early one, or is that one he did after Smallville?
Definitely before Smallville.
Okay. Well, before Smallville would have been... Well, wait. Was Smallville 2000?
You're asking me numbers. I don't know. My entire life is a blur.
Cool. Anyways, he had a thing on there where he interviewed Nathan Fillion, and he talked about, set problems, and if, he's perceived as like a good guy or whatever. And then he's like, well, what I can tell you from having been the lead on a handful of TV shows is if the crew's good, god damn it, piece of shit.
Rookie move.
I know. Is hang on a second. There's a wife text from 30 minutes ago. I perhaps should have answered.
Uh-oh.
The question is, do you know where my long glass baking pan is? Question mark. To which my response is, no.
That's such an odd question for 9:30 at night.
I mean, I don't know. She's probably going to bake something.
At 9:30 at night?
Yeah.
Is this a normal thing in your house?
Yeah.
Okay. You're getting enchiladas. That's what that says.
No, she actually has enchiladas in her mini crock pot for herself for her lunches for this week right now.
Because the family used to break out the long baking pans for the enchiladas all the time.
Oh yeah, we've definitely used it for enchiladas, but she's also used it for fucking cakes and all kinds of shit. Yeah. So there you go. The thing that Nathan Fillion said on the podcast that I keep trying to recite is since he's been the lead on several shows, is if the crew is good, if there are problems on the set and you're not actually aware of them, he says a good crew would never tell you.
Right.
Like he said he's heard on other shows that he's worked on where he wasn't the lead, where he'd be like, oh man, is that actor really like that all the time to like one of the castmates? And they're like, yeah, but we'd never tell him that.
Right.
Or whatever. And he's like, but I'm the lead on the last two shows that I did, Castle and Rookie, so if there's a huge problem, I might not know about it. I was like, okay, that's fair. That's fair to say, you know. So if you are an asshole, but you're the lead, maybe you wouldn't know it.
I've heard mixed reviews, but
sure. I know I watched other things. Oh, I meant to bring up a movie I watched actually right before the last podcast we did. Whose name of the movie I don't fucking remember, but we watched a horror movie right before the last podcast, and I meant to talk about it, and I was editing the show and I went, oh yeah, I watched the movie, finished it 5 minutes before I got on with Nate. I should have probably mentioned it. It's on Hulu. I don't know what it's fucking called, but it stars Sebastian Stan. As it starts off as like a romantic comedy, and then devolves into he's like kidnapping girls and then slowly chopping them up to serve them to rich people. Yeah, this is what my wife wanted to watch. Yeah, so he's the bad guy. So it was okay. It was worth a watch. It was entertaining enough, you know. And dark enough. It's a short film, only an hour, like 20 minutes. But that's the thing. Your wife looked horrified to be in the camera for a split second there.
So yeah,
she
didn't get to.
She got up and she went. There's kissing. There's fornication happening. Oh no, he's taking his head. Nope, he's putting a headset back on. All right, cool. None of that stuff that I said happened. He just kissed his wife goodnight. Pretty sure he muted because I don't hear anything. Talking to his wife. We can clearly see his Astro headset. He's cupping his ears with his earmuffs. He's got one ear off. He's giving me the look on the monitor. He's nodding. I think he's liking the fact that he's muted and I'm just narrating what's happening.
I was loving hearing you vamp.
Well, I'm a very good vamper. I've had to do it a lot.
I tried not to leave you hanging too much, but it's just like I'm trying to like, yes, you're saying stuff that yes. Now, wife's calling it quits for the night, and
I figured.
We'll get into that in life stories. It's been an interesting week or so.
Okay.
Spin the ring.
Yeah, I guess so. I was trying to think. Oh, wait. Did I talk about seeing Nope?
I want to say you talked about that last week,
which was really 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I did. I talked about it then.
I believe you did.
Okay.
I feel like
I'm trying to think of the timeline because let's see. It was like me and wife fighting all of July. End of July, things were good. We went to go see the movie with a friend.
It was only 2 weeks ago.
Then yes, we probably did talk about it that weekend. And I probably talked about Nope over whatever the fuck that movie is, in which Sebastian Stan is a weird fucking chopping up killer serving people.
Yeah, you definitely didn't talk about Sebastian Stan, which I'm trying to look at like...
He's the Winter Soldier. For those who
no. I'm trying to look at his IMDb to figure out what fucking movie it was.
Oh, it's super new. It came out like this year. It's a Hulu exclusive or some shit.
The 355 is the only, or Fresh.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it's called.
Fresh?
It's called Fresh.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's got to keep the girls fresh to deliver to these rich people, but he lures them in because he's like this attractive dude or whatever. Yeah. And he's suave and he's like a doctor or some shit.
Suave and deboner, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so like the first like 20 minutes of film, it's like, oh, this is a cute romantic comedy. And then, you know, he drugs her and then she wakes up in his fucking dungeon with other girls that have body parts sawed off.
Nice. Okay.
And it's like, oh, cool.
Good job, Bucky.
Not in this one. Plays a real psycho. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for entertainment. I can't think of... I don't think
Spin it to win it.
We watched movies. Spin it to win it.
Uh-oh.
Well, that was a... We lost a video feed of Nate. Do we have Nate still?
We have Nate still.
On the microphone. Okay. Alrighty then. Why does your... I can't tell if Skype is auto-zooming or if you're zooming your camera in and out. I feel like you've been zooming in. You were like on your eyeball at one point and like...
I just see your wife and we couldn't see your wife. I had background people that may not have wanted to be. So sure. I did a crop and fill, and as soon as she left, I'm like, okay, cool. I can open up the view.
Well, you know,
you get to see a different angle of my office because I used to be in that corner.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And now I'm not. So
what's the shirt that's in a case? What's that?
That is my deceased father-in-law's Red Cross vest.
Oh, okay.
He was a Red Cross volunteer for most of his life, and on his passing, they framed his Red Cross vest.
Oh, okay.
So.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Well, the bad news is we landed on the same topic.
We're not talking about entertainment anymore.
You sound done with it.
I sound very done with it.
All right, we've landed on Air. Which one's Air? Air's. Why do you hate me, Discord?
It's got to be video games.
Oh, it's video games. Oh, okay.
It is video games. And as usual, I don't have much to say in the realm of video games because I don't have time to game anymore.
Well, that's okay because I've been playing surprising.
I know you have been.
A random amount of video games, specifically this week.
Mm-hmm. You were going live at weird freaking times, even for me.
Yeah, you know. So, of course, the main game is Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which I would, be loath to say that I'm perhaps maybe playing right now, and have been the entire show. I'm at the what does it say? What does the system clock say? I'm at 78 hours and 20 minutes.
Okay.
and I'm on chapter 4 out of what the internet tells me is 7 chapters. So I've got a ways to go.
That's not bad, like considering the breadth and scope of that type of game.
It's pretty breathy and scopy, I'll tell you that right now. So yeah, I've been going.
And are you being very direct with it, or are you doing side quests and?
No. So the initial plan was to be very direct with it, but I loved this series, and so I made my Twitch audience a deal with this game when I started.
Oh, you actually interact with your audience now?
Sure. So I made I made them a deal.
Okay.
And the deal was I would not do any of the main story quest unless I was streaming. Everything else is fair game off stream because it's Switch and it's very convenient to play and grind. As I said, Washington Castle, cool. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go send my dudes to go fight these level 80 bitches over here. And maybe they'll win, maybe they'll lose. We'll find out. We'll find out. Or an hour before bed, before I have to get up at 5 because this week sucked. That kind of thing. And then sometimes it would be I'd get home super late and I'd be like, I have 20 minutes before the wife comes home. Here's the stream. I have 20 minutes because the wife has gone to sleep, but I'm not tired yet, and I should be. Here's a mini stream. And then the last 2 days there, because I don't think I did Friday. Or did I? I don't think I did Thursday either. I want
to say you did do Thursday.
I think I did. If I did, it was small and it was literal disclaimer: too fucking tired, no cam, no mic. But here's me playing the game.
Yeah, something like that. I think I saw the notification and I like clicked it 25, 30 minutes later and it was like stream offline. I went, was this an oops?
Well, sometimes for whatever reason, randomly the stream will just crash on the Switch thing. And I'm almost wondering if it has to do with the actual switching function itself. Because there's been times where I've been on stream and nature calls.
Sure.
But it's an RPG and I got to put that time in to grind. So I unplug it. I go, be right back. I come back and the streaming grid says, stream's crashed. And I'm like,
That's irritating.
It is. Sometimes it's fine. Sometimes it's not. But other than that, streaming has been pretty good since I rebuilt the setup or whatever. But anyway, played a fucking godly amount of Xenoblades with every conceivable possible moment to spare on it as you put tape on your mic. Oh, you're dusting. Smart. See, I'm a weirdo and I actually wash my foam on my mics and or use compressed air. Usually both.
Yeah, I don't have any canned air, but I'm seeing the cat.
I'm seeing the cat
fur on the camera, and it's like my OCD is not allowing for this tonight.
I will bring my fucking compressor up with the hose. And I'll start dusting shit. Yeah, so a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Did you get a chance to catch any of my stream on that at any point in time?
Very, very briefly. Unfortunately, the times that you seem to be going live are the times that I either am at the tail end of work or driving.
Yeah, you mentioned something in a stream to me, like, hey, and I was like, cool, you're here. And you're like, yeah, but I got to do a kid thing.
Yeah,
and then you didn't come back.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay, fine.
I gave you a good solid lurk.
Anyways, what I was going to do on this podcast was do a brief rundown of how the actual combat system works, because I think it's interesting and because I feel it's something that I can explain reasonably well and then move on to the other shit that I've played. So, the combat system in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, it's an open world JRPG with action combat that's not necessarily turn-based, it's live. You have 7 fucking party members, which is an insane amount of people to juggle, but kind of awesome because it's like, hey, we're level 80. There's a level 2 crab over there. Let's go fucking beat the shit. with like 7 fucking people, and it's just this fucking gangbang. There's fucking numbers flying off of the screen. Like it's ridiculous. I love it. So you have 2 types of people that are attacking. On your screen, you have a set of squares or circles corresponding to your face buttons that are your moves, so to speak, that you can swap out. You can have 3 of them, and then like kind of another one that you can build up to. And then on your D-pad, you have another set of moves that are inherited from other classes that you choose to multi-class in.
Okay.
And so for example, like your left D-pad and what would be the Y button on the Nintendo controller scheme. If you hit those 2 simultaneously when they're filled up, you get to do those moves simultaneously and build up another gauge that you have going on for like combos and stuff.
Okay.
Now, I said you have circles and you have squares. So if the move is a circle, it is basically auto-filling on a timer until you can press it again. If it's a square, it means you have to attack to then build up the gauge. So more damage builds up the gauge of that particular move faster.
Gotcha.
And that is a direct pull from Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2. Because Xenoblade 1 had the circles that filled, while Xenoblade 2 had the squares and you had to do stuff to fill them.
Gotcha.
It has both, pretty much, and you can do simultaneously. At the same time as that, you have an affinity gauge that is building, and if you build that all the way up, you basically stop time, and then all of your dudes line up and can do like a bunch of fucking moves against a dude doing a shit ton of damage. Sometimes if they're dead and just beating a corpse for excessive amounts of damage. That in turn has another gauge that we've lost him. No, you want me to stop? I'll stop for you, man.
It's just so convoluted. My gosh.
But it's so good.
I'm sure it is. But yeah, there's that's a big back of the DVD cover.
I don't even actually haven't looked it up because I get digital. I don't know what the back of the case for this says. Because I don't know, like I feel like if you're not into Xenoblade games, it's probably a hard sell. But
yeah, and I think my reaction is basically indicative of that.
Well, there's a thing. Well, and then on top of that, also 2 of the characters on the field can merge into this fucking like mech thing that also has its own moves and its own skill trees and all that sort of stuff. So anyway,
Jesus.
Yeah. The combat is by far
the fact that you can put 75 hours into this and not only and be just barely over what the halfway point.
I mean, if I'm in chapter 4 and the game allegedly has 7 chapters.
Right.
Yeah. And I've been playing it semi-religiously. And so when I'm on stream, I'm doing story stuff generally, sometimes, most of the time. And then the rest of the time, off hours, I'm just grinding. I'm doing side quests. I'm doing little bitch quests and whatnot.
No, I like it. It's a good return to form. I think there's, that's something that I've been missing in the video game realm for a long time is a good AAA game that doesn't require you to be online all the time. That is more than a 8-hour campaign.
Yeah, well, I would obviously. I mean, have you ever played JRPGs? I guess we've never really talked about it. Now that I think about it,
Final Fantasy VII was really the only one that I got into.
Okay.
I was big into what was it, the Neverwinter Nights series way back in the day.
Oh, MMO.
Yeah.
Or the non-MMO version of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Fair
but
enough.
yeah, like if it went too hard into the MMO, I kind of backed away from it. But yeah, the JRPGs are. I like them for the fast action. I like them for the fact that you don't have to sit there and, it's not Skyrim kick chickens for achievements.
Sure.
Right.
Well, but if you play the original Final Fantasy VII, that's also a very different JRPG. That is turn-based. It's very classic. It's very rigid. Not in a bad way, but
right.
It is what it is in that sense. But yeah, I
don't
know.
Also, like, because I was a Sega boy, I kept my teeth on Phantasy Star too.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go. So, yeah, Phantasy Star is great.
Yeah.
Also turn-based. Well, the first 4? There was a 4 or 5 they had before they went Final Fantasy or Phantasy Star Online.
Yeah, I dropped off at the Phantasy Star Online. Again, it was like once you go online, I was,
sure.
Day one back in the Ultima Online when MMOs went online, and I was like, oh, look, I got a free code to go online with Ultima. Log in, immediately get PK'd from the spawn point and griefed, and I'm just like, wow, no, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would hazard a guess that if you gave the Xenoblade series a start, starting with 1, it might be up your alley and scratch some itches.
I get, and the more I hear about it, the more I'm thinking that's true as well.
Because
again, I've played some good campaign games, and it's just like, great, 8 hours is the max.
Oh yeah, especially these days.
And then
Xenoblade doesn't do single digit anything.
Right. But anything that seems to go over that 8-hour mark seems to be like, but you need to log on online and do our multiplayer everything.
Well, and like I said, the Xenoblade games I find is really awesome at respecting time, because like I said, so like the way it works for most of the Xenoblades is like if you're at over level or at level of creatures, you can just hit auto battle, and assuming you haven't built your characters shitty, they'll usually win.
Right.
And it's like, oh, sweet, I can literally do this while also doing something else, and I'm still doing my hobby.
What a damn concept of being able to over level and not have to buy your way up to there. Right?
Yeah, I'm pretty over leveled. So the story thing I just did in Xenoblade 3, I was fighting something and it was a big boss and it was super scary, but it was level 36 and I was like, I'm 64. This is not a challenge. I have over leveled.
Yeah, and that's again a big complaint in the games industry right now is, respecting a player's time and allowing them to be OP.
Well, yeah, and I like that, because I'm exploring every nook and cranny, and it's like story says go this way, and I was like, but I can see stuff that way. I'm gonna go that way, and I went that way, and I went, cool. There's nothing hard. Oh, Jesus Christ, the level 90 dragon. Oh, fuck. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Yeah, so it's good stuff. Anyways, Xenoblade Chronicles.
Again, going back to probably the title of the show, You're Allowed to Be Wrong.
Oh, I was actually thinking the title of the show was going to be Fork in Your Ear Podcast, The Team Gets an Intern.
But yeah, no, like Xenoblade, you're allowed to go the wrong direction. You're allowed to be wrong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're definitely allowed to go the wrong direction in this game. And either you'll find a goodie or you'll find something that is like...
Yeah, or you're going to die.
Kill you. But like I did this thing, I was in this forest and there were all these like fucking scary looking gorilla things. And they were like level 82. And I'm not 82. But it has a day-night cycle and they go to fuck to sleep. So I'm like... waiting for the day-night cycle to go by and then sneaking by them to jack the treasure chests, even though I shouldn't be in this area. And it's like, I love doing that. Like, fuck yeah.
You literally pulled guerrilla warfare.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Ba-dum-dum. That's the dad joke for the day.
Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, I'm playing the shit out of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I think I said at the time in the last podcast I'd only played a handful of hours, and you were asking me if it's the best one yet or if I'm gonna like love it, and I was like, it's too early to tell. Being this many hours in, even though I don't know how the story turns out, thank God I have not had it spoil for me yet. I have a pretty good feeling that at the very least this could be contender for the best Xenoblade game that I have played. And having played 4 of them, yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. I gotta say,
that's pretty high regard.
The cast is super likable. They get into some really fucking dark territory that I would not have expected for a teen-rated Nintendo game. Like one of the characters,
well, teens these days.
Well, one of the characters was just like, maybe we should consider killing ourselves. And I was like, holy fuck, did that guy just say that? And they had like a whole like 5-minute conversation about why they shouldn't commit suicide. And I was like, what the fuck? There's a lot of genocide in this game. There's like all kinds of crazy shit that is like well above the teen rating, in my opinion. So I appreciate that it goes these places. Yeah. I appreciate that, it's like that, it's like a rogue, it's like one of those rogue Disney films that like is allowed to go super dark and somehow has like a PG rating, and you're just like, how the fuck?
You mean like Deadpool is actually now officially on Disney Plus?
Well, if you enable the content restriction setting.
Right.
Yeah. So Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It's fucking amazing. It's probably, unless the story super fucks up, it's probably going to be in my top 3 for game of the year. But then I've also taken a detour into wacky random Game Pass games this week. Because me and Daniel, well, me entirely, got fed up with Grounded's bullshit. And even though he's like, yeah, is it time to play Grounded? And I'm like, I don't want to. So we played.
Honey, I shrunk my motivation.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they shrink their bugs when their fucking version 1 comes out. Pun intended, since the game is literally about bugs. So me and Daniel played Power Wash Simulator.
Nice. Yeah.
Surgeon Simulator 2. We played Turbo Golf Racing. And there was a 4th game, which is, the name is escaping me now. What was it? I wrote it down because I sent it to a friend earlier today. What was it? I did. Maybe it was just those 3. Oh no, the other one, because yeah. The other one was Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. I know, a lot of simulator titles. Which one do you want to hear about, Nate?
Totally Accurate Battle Simulator.
So
how totally accurate was it?
Fucking not at all. So it a versus game, which has like super low poly graphics, and then you basically have a money cap and a people limit cap like an RTS, and you just plunk people down in like a battlefield, and you let the AI fight each other to win, basically. So like kind of like how we are right now on Skype, it's divided in half. One field side is blue team, one field side is red team, and then it's like you can plunk down however many people for the amount of money you have and the amount of people you have left. Except, and which is why it's cheeky, because it's totally accurate battle simulator, is it's like, all right, so I'm going to put a Da Vinci's War Machine with Satan, with some ninjas, and then some dragons, and let's put Zeus in there. Let's do that. Let's see how that battle turns out.
Jeez.
And it's kind of a gas. It's kind of a gas. Nate has left my field of vision. I don't know if he can hear me.
I can.
Oh, you can. Interesting. Interesting that you can hear me when I don't see you have a headset.
Oh, I put you on the external speakers, very low volume, so you wouldn't bleed through my mic.
Well, fantastic job, because I do not hear myself bleeding through your mic. Good job.
Yes.
Yeah, good job. And then the catch is that you can also hit the Y button and then take manual control of a unit. And it's like a simple third person and then some abilities on left and right trigger. With an aiming reticle. I won a handful of battles because his AI was too dumb to go around a corner, and I was just shooting ninja stars at his forces. At the same time, since the AI is kind of dumb, you can have like a catapult, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna put them up on this bridge. And then like they move forward and like kill themselves because they've jumped off the bridge, basically. And I'm like, damn you, dumb AI. So it's kind of a gas. It's kind of a gas. We had a good time with it.
Again, like there's something endearing about stupid, dumb, fun games that don't take themselves way too seriously.
Mm-hmm. It's super good.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's on Game Pass. Definitely feels like one of those games. I think it's in early access, as they say. You know, beta. But it's definitely one of those games that's like 100% was made for PC, and then somebody was like, well, we can probably just slap it on Xbox.
Right.
It's like one of those kind of games. Yeah, so that's thing. Check it out on Game Pass. I would assume also probably on PC. Good stuff.
Sure.
Which
actually I've been surprised that a lot of things that are coming out on Xbox console aren't getting ported to PC.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know. So it goes.
So your mileage may vary.
Yeah. I don't know for sure if it is or isn't on PC, because I largely play on Xbox. Yeah. All right. Which next one tickles your fancy? You know, pontificating about.
Give me the other three again.
Turbo Golf Racing, Surgeon Simulator 2, and then Power Wash Simulator.
Well, Power Wash and Surgeon Simulator I'm very familiar with, and it's like menial task simulators seem to be the thing du jour.
Well, but Surgeon Simulator isn't like Power Wash Simulator. Like, having done a lot of power washing growing up with my folks and whatnot, and we had a pressure washer and a large property and a lot of things to pressure wash. It's pretty fucking realistic. Not gonna lie. Like, I was like, well, oh yeah, it is really hard to clean dirt off of a fence. Yeah, you do have to switch nozzles for it. Oh yeah, I remember this. You know, which is
one of the many menial tasks jobs that I've had growing up was power washing, like 7-Eleven parking lots and gas station parking lots.
Yeah, well, you want to relive those days.
I don't want to relive those days.
This is the game for you. Yeah. But that's a far cry from Surgeon Simulator 2, which doesn't take itself seriously, where it's first person and you have like an arm.
Right. It's basically playing VR Operation.
Yeah, but with a controller, and it's terrible. I chopped off a dude's arm, and I ripped his face off, and then I accidentally broke his bone.
It doesn't just buzz it.
Terrible.
You can myrtleize a person.
Yeah. Well, and then this one also seemed to have
think Operation, but instead of tweezers, you're using chopsticks, but those chopsticks are baseball bats.
Yeah, Pretty much. But then there's
But
also
those
like
baseball bats are like lightsabers. So if you accidentally, instead of removing someone's kidney, you chop off their entire leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is kind of what it's like. It's also got a weird underlying like Portal-esque thing going on. There's this weird chick, Pam, who's like telling you to do things, and then there's like secret rooms and like the operating room thing with vents, and some other dude who's like trying to whisper you to come this way, and that Pam lies all the time. So I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. But the game was good for a laugh for one stream. It controls so horribly, I don't think I'm ever gonna play it again.
It almost feels like a lot of the physical manipulations sims are bad controls for that sake. Like, we want this to be difficult, and I don't like that.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, this game, it said Bosses Studios when I booted it up, and they've made, if I'm not mistaken, they made an Apple Watch game that was really cool, a Spy Watch game that is no longer supported, unfortunately. And they also made that I Am Bread game where you're like flopping bread with the four corners on the different triggers and the shoulder buttons, which I've played.
That one was really well received, though.
I mean, sure. But no,
there was another one that a lot of the streaming community was playing for a long time, and it was just like Hand Simulator, and they gave you random stuff like you would duel with 4 people, and you had to pick a gun, like simple task, pick a gun up off of the table, rack the chamber, and fire at someone across, or pick up a grenade from a box, pull the pin, and throw it. Yeah. But because of the janky controls, it was like everything was 25 times harder than it had to be.
Oh, 100%.
To hilarious effect.
I mean, yeah, there was a point last night where I was laughing so hard I was crying on doing the tutorial because I couldn't get through it. I was trying to saw this dude's arm off, and it was just not happening. I'd move wrong, and then his head would pop off, and then they give you these syringes. They give you a red syringe to put more blood back in him, and an orange syringe to stop the blood from bleeding out. And just the floor was covered in syringes and saws and body parts. And I was just trying to get my hand to go the right fucking way, because you have to hold the left and the right trigger while moving the 2 sticks to rotate your fucking joint. It was too much, man.
Yeah, that should be a game played only in VR.
Yeah, I think so. Like 100%. That is a type of game that is meant for VR. But with bad controls, it's hilarious. Just like I Am Bread, which I believe is the same studio, unless I'm totally mistaken.
I need to fire this thing up.
Which one is that again?
That's the Quest 2.
Oh, you have a Quest 2.
Yeah.
Before it became Meta.
Yes.
And before the Meta Quest 3.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. It's supposed to be a good one, though, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. It's probably on that machine, I would imagine. It's not a very graphically intense game, so I'm sure it's on there. So we did that, and then we did Turbo Golf Racing, which is best described as if Rocket League, Mario Kart, and golf had a baby.
Okay.
That is Turbo Golf Racing. It's actually really good. It's surprisingly polished. It's also in early access.
It sounds like it would be fun, but it sounds like it doesn't, like, I don't know what it is off the name.
Sure, it's a very generic name. So you have these wild, wonky Mario Kart looking ass courses that are simultaneously racetracks and then also golf courses.
Okay.
So you have
like mini golf or regular golf?
Regular golf. So you have your sand traps, you have your tall grass of fucking shit.
Right. It's called the rough.
You also, okay. Well, I don't play golf, so there you go. Which I do believe is what Daniel yelled at me and was like, because the sand trap's called a
bunker.
Yeah, a bunker. I was like, it's fucking sand. And he's like, have you never fucking played golf? And I was like, no. I drove a golf cart once for my uncle. That's it. So you have those, but then you also have like a power up to shoot a rocket at another player, like Mario Kart. And then you also have like rainbow glow strips on the ground that fill up your boost meter of your car that you can.
Because of course you have a boost meter. It's a racing game.
It's in the name.
Right?
Turbo Golf Racing.
Turbo, yes.
Golf Racing.
Right.
So you are racing to get your ball in the hole at the end of the course before other players, and it's played online. At this time in early access, it is only online and only.
Is your ball your car, or are you like pushing your ball?
You are a car.
Okay.
And then you hit the ball.
The ball or your ball?
Your ball specifically. Okay. And you can't fuck with other people's balls, like they're basically ghost.
Ghost, yeah, okay.
But you can fuck with other people's cars, which is their players essentially.
Okay.
So it controls like a racing game. You got your gas and your boost button and stuff, but then also like Rocket League, so you can jump, you can double jump, and then if you double jump and push forward, you'll do a flip in said direction.
Right, or a roll, or
right.
Yeah, okay.
Then where it's not like those games and it's like golf is right before you hit the ball, you get a visual arrow arc of where you're gonna hit the ball and the ball is gonna go like when you hit it. So you can kind of predict a little bit as you're like racing at 100 miles an hour at the ball, like the general direction in which it's gonna go.
Someone's trying to sideswipe you.
Correct.
And that arrow, I'm assuming isn't updating in real time.
What is?
The arrow, the
Oh no, it is.
Arc. Oh, okay.
It is updating in very much in real time. So it's a pretty good assessment of where it's going to go. While at the same time as you're racing, you have one other meter near your MPH gauge, which is basically your angle. You're going to hit the ball. So on the left stick, pushing up or down will change the angle. So either kicking the ball up higher to get over a sand trap, or whatever. Or just pushing it forward.
Basically your club selector. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose that. Putting it into golf terms, since I don't play golf. Sure. Yeah, it would be like that. Since Tim is aware that there are different golf clubs, I believe they're called.
And the difference between those is the angle of the face.
See, and I don't know that. I just know that there's different clubs and they do different things with the ball. And you select them because they're like tools. So you have that. On top of that, the courses, like I said, are wild and wacky, like Mario Kart. And they're actually pretty visually cool. Like it's got a kind of a neat
aesthetic.
Yeah, like I wasn't gonna say like bland, but it's got a very like not like overly aggressively weird, but kind of like like a Rocket League or like a Mario Kart, like not like super.
Right. It's not going full steampunk, whatever the what is it, retro, techno.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, the courses are like kind of like cool in that sometimes there's like they've got like little floaty rings where you can hit your ball through and it'll boost your ball forward more or boost you more. They've got like anti-gravity vortexes that get you to like the next part of the golf track / race course.
Okay.
And then there's some stuff that are in the background that's just there for aesthetics. Like there's one of the courses that I really like. Kind of reminds me of something that you might see in like Destiny. There's like all these like white orbs, but they've got these like beautiful waterfalls coming out of them. You don't interact with them, but they're just kind of like there,
right,
as set dressing, and it looks pleasant. It looks pleasant.
Their ambience, yeah.
And then on top of that, you have two slots on your car that actually mean something when you race. You have a passive ability and an active ability. So for example, I have one that allows you to have a stronger boost And then on my active ability, I have one that like almost like is like a little like gravity force push to the ball, but it's not like super aggressive. It's more like if you were putting it, like you're close and you don't want to hit it with your full race car force, so you just give it a little push.
Nudge. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's Super Golf Racing, and it's on Xbox, and it's playable with up to 8 people. I don't know how many people per party. Like me and Daniel were in a party, so we could play it 2-player against other people. And it's a set of 3 courses to the end, and then all golf stats, par, and all that sort of shit. But yeah, it's fun. I actually thoroughly enjoy it. It's the right amount of okay, cool. We're moving fast, which is fun. There's a little bit of stuff that makes it a little bit strategic / kind of fun, like Mario Kart. But then also, okay, cool. Getting your ball, your hole in one. It's pretty difficult in this game because there's a lot of shit happening. Yeah, it's cool. I would encourage people to check it out if any of those things floats your boat. Oh, and then the other game, I played WB's Multiverses.
I've heard mixed reviews about that.
So here's the thing, coming from a longtime super serious Smash Brothers player, it is the best Super Smash Brothers clone that has ever been made.
Okay.
I say that with confidence because there was a Nickelodeon game that was on PS Plus earlier this year, and it is a terrible Smash Brothers clone. It's fucking garbage. And there was a Kung Fu Panda clone that was actually pretty good at it, like way back, like Kung Fu Panda 2, probably like PS3, Xbox 360 era. It was really good. That was really good. And there was a PlayStation attempt, PlayStation All Stars, back on the Vita and PS3 that was pretty solid. And this is better than all of those. It is not as good as Smash Brothers. However, you can tell the team that made it like actually gave a fuck. And like there's that like extra level of like, oh, the people making this actually loved making it, or bothered, like instead of just doing a simple free to play cash grab.
Right.
So it's available right now on fucking everything. And I believe it has full crossplay because they make you sign up for a WB account with it. Cross-platform, cross-play, cross-save, cross-progression, all that shit, which is nice since it is free to play. It is a Smash Brothers clone, with the exception that it does do a couple of things that Smash Brothers doesn't. They placed an emphasis on one of your abilities is a co-op ability, working with another person on your team that does something either like a buff or like helps get you out of danger or that sort of stuff. So for example, like you can play Wonder Woman, and since it's a Smash Brothers game, you have an arena and then you're trying to knock the opponent outside of the screen bounds to knock them out.
Right.
And Wonder Woman has an ability when you're in 2v2 that can use her lasso of truth to lasso your co-op partner back from the brink of oblivion. And it also has one ability that is a cooldown ability. So for example, like Batman has a Batarang, he only has one, but if he throws it and he hits somebody, it will start coming back to Batman, and if you catch it, you can use it again. But if you don't, it's on a cooldown for like 30 seconds.
Makes sense.
Then on top of that, there is, I feel like I'm saying on top of that a lot. I apologize. I can hear it now in the edit, and I'm just like, you fucking dildo. What are you doing? So basically, co abilities, a cooldown ability, and then something that Smash Brothers didn't really do. Like it kind of did a little bit, like, but this game truly does status effects. So for example, Superman's got his freeze breath. and if he hits you, you have a meter builds up to 10, and at 10 you're frozen, right? And so everybody's got some kind of status effect. For Batman, he's got a smoke cloud, but for him, it buffs him, and it gives him like a ninja dodge move step thing, which makes sense because it's fucking Batman.
Yeah.
But what I mean by love,
Batman.
exactly. But what I mean by love is like, so I actually just got Batman, and when I was playing this week, playing with my PSN friends, like they picked Superman, I picked Batman, and they had Superman and Batman had dialogue with each other specific to them. Like Batman came on and was like, "I made sure to bring my kryptonite, Clark," or whatever, and then Superman is like, "I'm not gonna go easy on you this time, Bruce," or whatever. And I was like, "Oh damn! All right, they're fucking slinging at each other. I like it." So yeah, it's really well made. It feels good. Like it doesn't feel like super stiff and clunky like a lot of the other imitators do. Which is my primary complaint in a Smash clone, is like Smash is great because it feels good to play. Like not only the fact that it's technically competent, but it feels good to play. And that's my primary complaint. This is the first one in a long time that feels good to play. And so it's kind of cool that it's still in early access. They actually pushed their release date back. They were going to launch September 1st. And then they were like, so we got everybody's feedback. We're going to take it. We'll see you in October, boys. And I was like, cool. Good job, team. So yeah, check that out. It's interesting. It's on every fucking platform, Epic, Steam, Xbox, PlayStation. There is a Switch version, but I think it's delayed. Not sure. I'm not 100% sure on that. Yeah, it's
so just FYI.
Yeah.
Turbo Golf Racing game preview is available on PC.
Are you telling me you want to play it with me, Nate?
I'm just saying. I'm currently downloading it as we speak.
Is it crossplay though? That's the question. Because if it's not, I'll need to turn on my PC and do it that way. That would be the question. I would think it would be, since it's Game Pass. And generally,
you would think.
And generally, Xbox and PC are pretty copacetic.
Cross-platform multiplayer, yes.
Hell yes. All right, cool. Well,
Xbox Live cross-gen multiplayer.
Cross-gen, like just like with the older Xboxes, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then optimized for Series X, Series S. Smart delivery.
It does run very smoothly, I might add, which I was surprised by in early access. It runs very fluidly.
Yeah, just the screenshots, it looks amazing. So
nice.
I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try.
It's good.
I'll give it a try.
Yeah, it's good. Sweet. Yeah, no. Let's definitely
it will never be as fun and chucklefucky as driving beat up old milk truck vans.
Well, speaking of something that was a chuckle, so one of the PlayStation Plus games of the month of August, which is a good get, honestly, is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Remastered 1 and 2. And and for clarification, I played Tony Hawk 1 and 2 and 3 on the 64, the Dreamcast, and the Game Boy Advance. Way back in the day, and I recall being great at it. We fired this thing up, and you were bad. I was so bad. People were doing 1,000,000-point scores, and I was struggling to break 1,000.
Right.
So what we ended up doing, mostly because I sucked, much like the old days of those.
That game is very humbling.
Oh, sure shit is. Especially with the more realistic crash physics and like tripping over the board. Oh my god. The poor dude, poor Tony Hawk's knees. I tell you. He must not have any in my game. But also, fuck you, Taxi Cab, for hitting me over and over again in the New York stage. So what we did, because I sucked, was first we did, it was like, I don't remember what the mode was called, but it's like you do tricks on objects and then they become your color. and then whoever has the highest trick on that object, like you get to claim that thing, and whoever has the most claimed things wins. So we did that for a bit. And then I still sucked at it. So then we had to invent a game mode that wasn't in the game. And so we did, just like the old days of being on the couch, we did we did hide and seek. We did hide and seek tag.
Okay.
And
it's always fun. That's classic.
Well, it was hilarious because we were figuring out what we could do, because they were like, okay, we want to play Tony Hawk, but Tim sucks at it. So we got to do something that doesn't require any skill.
We got to cater to Tim.
Pretty much. We're
going to lose Tim if we don't make Tim feel better about himself.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I was doing a little better by the end of the night, but like, it wasn't like...
You had some severely rusty thumbs. Yeah.
Well, and I never...
I'm trying to be nice to you, but
I never...
You want to keep self-effacing there, yeah.
I never properly skateboarded when I was a kid, so I always crashed and burned in real life, so I never really took to it as a kid. But Tony Hawk was a video game, and I was like, okay, I can do this. So anyway, we did hide and seek. Oh yeah, there you go. He's holding up a fucking skateboard right now. It's got a deck. I know that's what that's called. It's got wheels, which are trucks. I remember that. And it's a people-sized board and not a tech deck for those of the 90s who remember those.
Correct.
I totally had tech decks as a kid.
Yes. They don't translate to real life skills, obviously.
Oh, 100% not. Finger flicking? Nuh-uh. Does not translate to real skateboarding at all. But yeah, no, so
we'll help you keep your wife happier later in life, though.
Oh, yeah. You know, I was thinking it, but I decided not to go that blue. But the fact that you did makes me secretly so happy. Yeah, so we played hide and seek, and how we did it was, because this is not a mode that's in the things, what we did was we went into Free Skate and we toggled the online player ID off, so you couldn't see where the players were.
Right.
And in the shiny ultra HDR dark shadows Unreal Engine 4 remake that this is, what we found out was we would do 2 minutes of whoever was the seeker. Everybody would also go and scramble for 2 minutes, and then they'd have to stop wherever they were at 2 minutes and hide. Because what happens is if you sit idle long enough, your skater sits down on the ground, which reduces visibility. And so everybody's wearing like dark t-shirts and shit, and like hiding in shadows and behind like park benches and shit like that, in bushes and stuff like this. And honestly, we played it for so long. I didn't even know that my wife had come home, made dinner, until she walked in the door and said, "Here's your fucking dinner."
Plop the plate down.
Yeah, plop the plate down, and I was like, "Oh shit, that is an amazing time, or an amazing thing when doing something dumb and fun with friends online is so good you lose track of time." We used to do
that. Yeah, we used to do that back in the Destiny days. We'd play hide and seek in the tower, and we just
I played hide and seek in the tower.
Yeah, when they introduced HUDless, that was great.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, Tony Hawk was great. I'm kind of looking forward to playing again next Tuesday on next game date and doing some stupid shit like that, because we were all laughing so hard at each other. Because the people who were like super good at actually doing the tricks were really bad at hide and seek. So, and then of course the people who were shitty at tricks like myself were really good at
hide and seek. Yeah,
I had this one, you can see it on stream. It was fucking hilarious. Like, it was so funny. One of my friends,
I have a particular set of skills that make finding me very difficult.
Well, we were in the New York stage, and I didn't remember the stage at fucking all from what I'm sure I played hundreds of hours of it back as a kid. And I didn't know what to do, so I I crashed into a bus stop, broke the glass and sat down by the bench. And I was there so long that the glass like reappeared in the game world. So I was like inside this perfect little glass hut, and I was just sitting there by the stupid car driving around in a circle, honking the taxi. And I would just hear my buddy Killbot. He'd be like, "Where the fuck are you? I know this map inside and out. Where the fuck?"
And you're like, "You've skated by me 5 times."
I was like, "Oh, yep, there you go again. Yep, nope, not over there. No, nope, not by the movie theater. Nope." He's like, "What the?"
Wait, you see me, but I can't see you.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Basically.
And then my other buddy Kono, who was still...
I know Kono. I always root against Kono.
Oh yeah, as you should. He tuned into my Twitch just because he wanted to see, because you can't view other players in this made up game mode we're doing. And he was laughing so hard because he's like, "Well, I'm on the other side of the map and I can see him over here and I can see him in your Twitch stream, and he has no fucking idea." And he's like, "Stop it! Stop mocking me!" It was a really good time. Until we went to, I think, the Chicago map or something. And we were all hidden. And
you froze for a sec. Okay.
Oh, okay. Everything's still rolling. Mac doesn't look weird. Skype is fine. Things are fine over here.
Okay.
We're in the Chicago map.
So Chicago map, yeah.
We were all hidden. Kono was the seeker, and then Daniel was trying to get somewhere. He's like, "Oh, this fucking spot's gonna be so fucking good. It's gonna be so fucking good." And then like 2 minutes come up, and like I was like, "Right or not?" He's like, No, please give me like a couple more minutes." And he's like, "Fine, I'll give you a couple more minutes." And then like, and I don't know what's going on. I'm hiding in a bush in the park in this thing, and
you're like, "Keep it simple, stupid."
And we just hear like Kono says, "Okay, you got like 30 seconds." And Daniel's like, "Yeah, this is gonna be so fucking good." And just we hear, "No!" And then we're like, "What happened?" He's like, "I fell off the fucking building. He's gonna fucking find me." And then like I was like, "Ready or not, here he comes." 2 seconds later, and here's Daniel. He's in the middle of the street. He's like, "This is so fucking bullshit," and he rage quit. Right? He classic old school rage quit. He quit out of the app, but it's peer to peer, and he was the host of the session.
Oh, shit.
And so everybody was like, oh, don't be a fucking baby. And he's like, "No, it was fucking bullshit. I had the perfect font, and it's fucking controls, and I fell off the fucking building." It's hilarious. You can check it out on my stream this last Tuesday.
Good times.
Yeah, and so that's.
I wish I was around for that, because I would have totally given him shit for that.
Oh, and you should. You should give him post shit for it, actually.
I might.
But he was so riled up, and so usually the way Tuesday night, boys' night goes is it's PlayStation gaming from whenever people are home, 4 to like 7-ish, and then people are East Coast and they got to get off and go to bed, whatever. But then I'll stay on later with Daniel that day, and we'll do Xbox stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so like for a fucking hour after everybody got off, because that ended the night basically for PlayStation. Everybody was done, and they're like, "Yeah, no, we're done." And so he was like fuming for like a while, and I'm like, "So what you want to play, man?" Knowing full well that he was just fucking fuming. And he's like, I don't know, man. No, whatever you want to play." And then I was just trying to be like a good friend, and I was like, "Well, you seem a little upset, so what do you want to play that'll maybe make you happy?"
Right.
And we fucking said, and that's how we got to Power Wash Simulator.
So it goes.
Yeah, so it goes. Yeah, so that's video games. The only other big news in video games was that the Harry Potter game Hogwarts Legacy got delayed to next year. Surprising abso-fucking-lutely nobody, probably.
Right.
Which I think officially makes it that there are literally no big games coming out this holiday season except for a Call of Duty and the God of War game, if I'm not mistaken. I think those
Right.
are the only big AAA games that are.
And maybe a Destiny expansion.
I
Which
mean,
maybe. I think they've been pushing those to February now.
I mean, that's probably not a bad thing. Give them a full, year and a half cycle?
Yeah.
Depending on which team it is. I will say, though, whatever the fuck Lightfall is, because that's the next one, right?
Yes.
Whatever the fuck Lightfall is, if it's good, I'm going to show up for it.
Yeah.
I in my mind, I'm like, I feel like Lightfall is going to be the one.
I don't know. I've been slowly dropping off and running out of fucks to give. Like,
well,
there used to be a time where
you
I was
don't
like,
have to tell me twice. I've fucking been there and back so many times already on the Destiny fucking train.
Yeah. And I think I finally hit that point where I was just like, I didn't log in this week. And I don't care.
It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. You know what that is? That's sanity returning to you. That's what that is.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's true. I fucking quit Destiny
once
again.
The Kool-Aid goes out of your system.
Yeah. And the stones leave your body.
Right.
The salt stones.
Right. Your will to live returns.
Yeah, exactly. Settle down with a nice JRPG. Cleanse the video game soul, as it were. Yeah, that's video games. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else on video games.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Nothing else that well, actually, I should probably click the thing and see if there's anything.
Some Halo updates where they, actually going to finally deliver what they promised.
Stop fucking telling me and do it.
Right.
That's where I'm at. And everybody knows I'm the biggest Halo guy.
Yep.
I did post something because things have been leaking on the Halo Infinite Forge. Mm-hmm. And people are just straight up remaking other people's video games in Halo Infinite's Forge.
Mm-hmm.
Which tells me, A, that none of the things are DMCA takedown, which means 343 is 100% aware that these leaks are happening, and they're allowing them to happen to build good press. It also tells me that when Forge finally releases to the public at large, that it's going to be a very big deal for the Halo community.
Sure.
Because if these tools are so powerful that you can remake other fucking video games in a Halo game, are you kidding me? That's going to keep the community happy, and it's going to keep people like me who are waiting for the next thing satiated.
And depending on how intricate the development is, like this could be a poor man's UE5 build for someone that just wants to get something out there.
100%.
Right?
I mean, they were already kind of getting that way with Halo 5's Forge, which was very advanced in comparison to its predecessors. And I feel like a broken record saying this, but I'll say it again. It was said once upon a time that the Halo Infinite Forge is basically a gamified version of the very same tools that they use to make the fucking game. And if so, sweet.
Right.
Because it's definitely what the community needs. Yeah, that's it for video games. We're spinning.
Cool.
Moving on.
We just hit the 2-hour mark, so.
Yeah, I see that. All right. Life stories. Here we fucking go. Nate has the floor.
I have the floor. Oh, you're going to give me the floor first. Great.
Yes.
Yes. So, I've been matrix dodging COVID since, before it was a thing, before it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow, my wife, both my kids, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, my mother-in-law, and their kid all managed to test positive. this
Damn.
week.
So have you tested positive now?
I have not.
Wow.
Again, doing rapid tests, and then when my youngest also didn't test positive on the rapid, so we went, okay, we're going to do a PCR test. Nope, clear on a PCR as well. So, and that's between the rapid tests and the PCR, that was no less than 9 tests that I took over the course of a week. The chance of a false negative was pretty low.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, we basically had our entire family ravaged by COVID.
Damn.
Hence my wife being working tonight in the background, because she's starting her job on Monday.
But she has or doesn't
She's
have COVID?
cleared now. Yeah, she's cleared now, but she's got like the long symptoms of being short of breath and just being wiped out. Yeah, and of course, if you cough for a week straight, your back tends to be pretty sore.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the kiddos are they're on a whole new freaking level of we don't know what the fuck's going on because they're not sleeping right.
Sure.
But you would never know. You would never know that they were sick. Because they've been running around like crazy, but I think they're just running out of energy sooner. So the crabby comes up so much faster.
Yeah. Well,
and the only bitch about the whole thing was like, yeah, I've been testing negative the entire time, but the week prior, I think our last episode, I was telling you I was feeling kind of under the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I was sleeping 14-hour days just because I was exhausted and my body hurt and everything.
Yeah.
But again, I was testing constantly. My wife goes, what was the progression of your symptoms? I'm like, oh, they were this. And she goes, yeah, I'm feeling that. And I said, no, okay, and tomorrow you should feel this. And she goes, yeah, I'm feeling that now too. And that's when she woke up and tested and went, oh, like before the even the control line on her test lit up, her positive test line, like she was clearly like infected. But she had the exact same symptoms I did and the same progression. So it's like, I don't know what it is. Like, did I have 9 false positives?
Hard to say.
The fact that I'm the only smoker in the family is my nicotine and tar riddled, respiratory system not letting anything set in.
It's probably the high concentration of whiskey in your veins too.
Right,
probably,
there you go. I'm constantly
they say
disinfecting.
alcohol kills.
Yeah, I'm constantly disinfecting. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, like it's that sense of abject dread that it's like I basically feel like I've infected my entire family, which doesn't feel great.
No, I bet not. Probably sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
But on the upside, 2 weeks in, the antidepressant that I've been taking seems to be leveling things off. I've been a lot less ragey.
Have you been ragey in the past?
Oh yeah, it was actually a big concern. One of the reasons that put me into therapy is I had some anger management issues that I didn't like flaring up around the kids and the wife, obviously.
Interesting.
So
I can't say that I perceived anger issues.
Yeah, I keep it in check for the most part.
At most, or at the very least, from my viewpoint, it was just like get off my lawnness of stuff that happens with age. I find myself with stuff like that often.
No, and again, it's one of those that I've been able to keep in check. It's been a lifelong thing. But when I hit that tipping point, and it takes a lot to get there. It's a long fuse, but it's a big keg of dynamite behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's probably somewhat like how my wife deals with stuff. It's a long fuse, as she says, self-admittance. She's a bottler, and I'm like, really bottle things because it ends
Yeah.
up badly if I do.
My wife's got a short fuse, but a firecracker on the end of it. It's like, spa. Okay, we can
Okay.
deal with that, right?
Yeah. So, okay. So, COVID, life leveling changes of the behind the scenes Nate, I suppose.
Yep.
Uh,
Got my new boss. He signed on this week, so it was as we expected. Someone that was in another department for us.
Okay.
So at least it's a familiar face.
Yeah, familiar face.
But and then I want to say it's what is today? The 13th. So 3 weeks, maybe 2. I'll be flipping over to that late night shift.
Okay.
So that'll be
fun. Do we need to change the show at that point?
Nope.
No.
So.
Oh yeah, because you'll be on night, so you'll just be up.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. When was the last time we changed the show schedule? It was a while ago now.
Oh, a long time ago. Yeah, because I think we used to do Friday nights, and that just wasn't working.
Yeah.
And then we kept going, and so we would trickle it into Saturday mornings, and that stopped kind of working because and that's when my schedule shifted, and it's like I can't do Saturday morning. So yeah, so things have been upended. Things are, because the wife's a teacher, we got a month where she doesn't get paid.
Right.
We're in that month now.
Cool.
So we've been juggling some overdrafts and trying to figure out everything else that's going on with that. And then I send my kid to her first year of kindergarten on Monday.
Cool. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I have $0 in my bank account right now.
I could do that.
Though, that is my own fault to do expensive dates to help the marriage. Should work. They did work. And they were worth it for that purpose. But once again, it does say 0.
Yeah. I could very easily say 0. I have not paid 2 cars registrations.
Well, I'm not that bad yet, but
right.
And I do actually.
Well, no, I have money in the account. I could pay the 2 registrations.
Okay.
I could make. I've got to make both car payments this month. I still have to pay the power bill, and I still have to pay the mortgage, which is more than what I have in my account. So I could very easily be 0 to negative with you.
Cool.
Yeah. So I feel you.
Well, so it goes. So it goes.
That's why our audience should be signing up for our Patreon.
That we don't have.
Yeah.
Well, we're probably gonna do the Apple Podcast thing when that hits in October.
Oh.
Yeah. There's been some more data about that. I realize it's probably a different segment, but whatever. We're talking about money. Yeah. So basically, Patreon shit's gonna be built in to the Apple Podcast stuff.
Oh, nice.
As long as you have the appropriate backend provider, which we do with Libsyn. So we'll be able to offer subscriptions. We'll be able to offer bonus episodes.
So Apple found a way to take their cut, huh?
Sure. I mean, I'm okay with that because I've always said forever, the largest market has always been Apple Podcasts. That's where podcasts started. And while not everybody uses the Apple
they're not called Zoomcasts for a reason.
That's right. They are called podcasts. That's very true. Or they're not called what did I have? Creative Zen 2 Media.
Nomad casts.
Yeah, Nomads. Yeah. They're not called Nomad. That was dumb. You had a better thing.
MP3 casts, right?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think the fact that it's going to there's going to be a bunch of new features for us on the back end for Libsyn to support this, and it's going to be ready at launch. we've got a couple of months to figure out if we can do something, or what we should do with that thing.
I mean, I think we could probably give him the video cast.
Yeah. You willing to do that? Because I don't have any skill in that area.
Well, no, we have the Skype file.
True.
That does have the video.
It does have the video. Okay. Yeah, we could probably do that.
So yeah, I mean, whether you want to go full post-production on it, put it in a wrapper or anything like that.
God, I don't know.
Yeah. Other than that, like, yeah,
I have the technology. I don't have the skills for it.
I could definitely capture it in OBS, and we could put a wrapper around it and everything.
Well, I mean, if you're going to that point, like, would we do it live?
That's we're consistent enough that we probably could, but
Yeah,
that is such a production nightmare.
I know you hate it, or at least have had your own problems with it, and since you have the bandwidth to do that,
right,
and I don't.
Oh, that was the other fun one. My wife was like, "Oh yeah, so Spectrum, formerly Time Warner Cable, apparently is now offering gig service in our area, and as a promotion, they basically said, we're going to send you the equipment. You just plug it in and you try it for 30 days.
Yeah.
And you let us know how it works. And if you like it, you can have it for $40 a month."
Okay.
So gig down. I'm like, cool. What's the up? 35. And I'm like, nah.
35 Mbps?
Yeah.
That's still triple and change what I have.
No, I know. And I'm like, we've had our Frontier now, the gig concurrent. So, which really it's 850 down, 850 up.
That's still
great. I'm like,
it's still fantastic. What are you talking
about? And she's like, well, have we tried it? I'm like, this is exactly what our brother-in-law currently has over at his place. And we know how that works. It's fine. But I'm like,
you're looking at it as a price cut.
Right? It's a price cut, yeah. But I'm like, but Tim really loves that I can send him 6 gigs of files in about 30 seconds.
I mean, here's the thing. As a person, I don't love being one-upped technologically. As a podcast producer who's been making podcasts for decade plus,
being able to get your data
I
fast.
like it.
Yeah. yeah, having the capability of being able to, actually stream out and not have to deal with bandwidth issues.
Yeah.
Because even on a bad day, and it's like, oh, I'm getting half of what I pay for, I'm still getting 400 out.
Yeah, I would take 400 in a heartbeat.
Right.
I checked recently because I got another fucking flyer in the mail. Be like, oh, check today, see if you've got fiber in your area. And I was like, motherfuckers, I know there's fiber if I go past this fucking street.
Mm-hmm.
And I go into the app and I check the thing, and they're like, we looked, we can't see any upgrades in your area. I was like, you fucking piece of shit.
Right. You almost want to like strike a deal with one of your neighbors and then just go, I'm just going to run a piece of Cat 5 cable or Cat 6 cable up in the tree. You're going to bring it down into your house.
Sure. In the realistic scenario that is living in a suburbia. Yeah. No, don't think so. Not so much on that one. So I put a note to tell you to ask me about propane.
Yes. Propane and propane accessories.
Well, speaking of propane and propane accessories, so I had Daniel and his wife Sarah over last night for dinner, for steak dinner, actually, which I was going to cook on the barbecue that they got me for my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
This is all well established in podcast annals. I forget how you pronounce annals. In the annals of the Fork podcast. Now, I was very prepared for cooking these steaks. Had everything ready to go. Took a work table out so that I could have all the plates set up so I could have 4 steaks ready to go. butter on top. Things ready to go. Everything ready to go. Had even made fun of the fact that Daniel was a little bit late because they were going to make desserts. Everybody knows I'm gluten-free. He'd fucked up an apple thing. I told him it's not a big deal. I don't have to have a dessert. Just get your asses over here because I'm fucking starving and would like to cook dinner. So they're on their way. I know approximately how close he is to my house because we track each other on fucking Apple satellite shit, friends,
Right.
Find my phone shit. So I go to start the grill, as one would do, with a clicky noise like you have in the background right now that I can hear on your mic. And I notice that there's a distinct lack of the traditional hissing sound of gas.
And a lack of scent. Yes.
Well, I always have a lack of scent, as we've
right.
established. So that's a non. I don't know what propane smells like, but I know the sound it makes.
Right.
And certainly the fact that I could see my burners on fire, which I did not see when I clicked the clicky thingy.
I was like, your burners were on fire?
Well, that was later. So I went to check my tank, and I do have a gauge on it. And it's on the red line, right next to the danger. It's out. Fine. And I went, I cooked pork chops for the wife the night before, and it was late, and I didn't
forgot to turn it off.
The gas. So I thought to myself, okay, there's the propane connection. It's literally down the street by the 7-Eleven. So I race down there. It is 5:55 p.m. When I roll up. I'm not even out of the car yet, but I've parked it. I'm about to get out. Bald dude comes out, waves at me to roll down my window. I was like, hey. He's like, you here for propane? I was like, yes. He's like, law says I have to shut it off 10 minutes before closing. I close at 6. And I went, shit. He's like, sorry, bro. I was like, fuck. So I'm Googling where the fuck. Now, this is the trial of Tim getting to adulter levels, because I've never had to go for propane that is of a gas grill size. It's not a little camp stove propane thing that you can get fucking anywhere. You can't get fucking big tanks anywhere, let alone get them refilled anywhere. So at Google, they're like,
no, you go to your local gas station and they have a tank exchange, and you get the Blue Rhino from your local gas station.
Cool. Tim doesn't know this. He knows this now. So Google says, when I type in propane and then the town that I live in, it's like, cool, these places do tank exchanges and refills, and they're open. And it was Lowe's and Home Depot, which are across town, at 6:00 on a Friday. So I say, fuck. And I drive across town at probably far too fast in my wife's car to go get my fucking tank exchange. I roll into Home Depot. I have no fucking clue where I need to go. I think I'm like, okay, well, it's probably with the grills.
No, it's the big steel cage.
No, it's not. I know that now. So I'm wandering around Home Depot for at least 10, 15 fucking minutes, because of course I have to be a man and be like, I can find it. I go to Home Depot all the time. Looking for a sign, something. Finally, I basically give up. I go to the self-checkout. There's nice 2 old ladies. They're like, it sounded like they were shitting on each other, but having a good time about it when I rolled up. And I was like, hi, where do I get this refilled? And then they're like, oh, you're supposed to bring it outside, and you're technically not supposed to bring the tank inside. Like, it's against the law. And I was like, oh, it is. they're like, yeah, but if you're bringing it, it's empty, right? I was like, yeah, it's super empty. And they're like, yeah, what's it gonna do? And I was like, it's a fair point, ma'am. You know?
Right.
Rung me up, came. Dude who took the tank couldn't care fucking less about the tank. Gave me a bigger tank than what I came in with, actually. It was about twice the size, actually. And I was like, cool. But I ran off with it anyway, praying that it would fit my grill. It looked like it maybe had the same thing. I hoped it was. I hoped it was universal. I had no idea.
Yep.
Which, it was fine. But ran across town, came back. Friends were already here, wondering where steaks were. And I was like, we're not going to talk about it as I'm hooking up the propane.
I said, mistakes were made.
10 minutes before they got there. So yeah. So we had dinner late. And so I did an Angus wrapped steak, or an Angus steak wrapped in bacon, with a bacon grease coat with Montreal steak seasoning with bacon grease on the grill. Then I was having trouble with the left and right burners with temperature, which so far this grill's never given me problems with before. So I was like, God damn it, of all the times. So I did more bacon grease, which then, of course, that fell down on the burner. So the burner caught fire. So I'm there with the spraying to keep the burner from catching on fire all the way. Trying to maintain a constant 350 temperature. But throughout all that bullshit, steaks came out fucking great.
Good.
They were fucking amazing.
Good. It sounds like they would be. I don't know about wrapping expensive meat in cheaper meat.
Well, that's how they come from Walmart. So it was pre-wrapped.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the $7.50 choice 2-pack cuts.
Gotcha. So it's not okay. It's not expensive meat. When you say Angus, I'm like, yeah, it's okay. It's cheap cut.
It's Angus USDA.
Yeah, that's Chuck.
Walmart
yeah,
brand. No,
Chuck
it's better than Chuck.
Yeah, but it's Chuck wrapped in bacon.
It's
basically,
it's a proper steak, in my opinion. Having had many a steak.
Chuck is a proper steak.
Just needs to be Chuck. What are you fucking?
It needs. Well, I'm just saying. I've eaten on the cheap.
It's better than the fucking ribeye I can get at Costco. I'll tell you that right now. Ribeye at Costco fucking suck. Ribeye my ass. That's closer to Chuck, in my opinion. But
I got a local butcher. I don't pay cheap for meat.
Yeah, well, meat's really fucking expensive these days, especially beef.
Yep.
So Anyways.
Yeah, Taco Tuesdays have been Turkey Taco Tuesdays.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess I probably shouldn't talk about that on there. Some wife stuff, and we're gonna be doing more turkey now.
Sure.
What other life stuff has happened? I feel like I had so many things other than the propane story, but that's all I can fucking think about since it was last night.
Probably a good thing. I mean, life is just getting shitty and sideways, and we're just getting older. So,
and yet, learning things about how to fill propane tanks,
or just trade them off. How much did you pay for that damn propane tank, by the way?
So that was the other thing, because I did have $0 when I went there, and I was like, all right, I hope I've got room on the credit card for whatever the fuck this costs, because I have no idea. It was actually $25. So I was like, oh.
For a new tank filled?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
That's what I said.
Okay. Because that's usually about $60 to $70 here.
Well, and that's funny.
Because you're paying for the tank.
Yeah. But no, it was $25 at Home Depot.
Oh, wait, you did exchange a tank. That's why. Okay.
I don't know if it's
you can.
I guess
you can buy. You could just buy one outright.
I believe it was more if you bought one outright.
Yeah. Yes.
Like a lot more.
Okay. That's probably what I'm thinking with the $60, $70 was buying a fresh tank filled.
Yes. And if I recall right, now that you're saying that, that is triggering off a memory of when Daniel said he got the grill for me and he got the tank, and he said it was like $60, $75, something like that.
Yep.
For a full tank. But what surprised me, again, was not just the $25, but the fact that the tank the dude gave me was twice the fucking size of the tank that I brought in.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
I don't think it matters to them.
Probably not. Like I said, that dude didn't give a fuck when he came in. He looked tired. Probably last part of his shift or something. He's like, all right, you need a tank?
I've been
fuck,
here
I don't give a fuck. Here you go.
Take your propane.
Yeah, something like that. God damn, I really feel like I had more life stuff to talk about.
Well, let's move on. If it comes up, we can come back.
See, this is the thing.
Or
the show's
it could be our Patreon content.
Sure.
See, forward thinking.
Sure. I mean, I've rolled some ideas around, like what would a tiered Fork in Your Ear podcast look like? Probably, I was thinking in my head, I was like, well, we're not big, so we could probably do like a 3-tier, $1, $2, $3 thing. That's what I would say.
Sure. Yeah. A decent ask.
I would say $1. You love the show. Nate knows how to do cool Discord things. Maybe there's a Discord cool thing in it for you.
Right.
$2. Probably Patreon feed, extra show thing. Another idea I was rolling around was like, well, if we do an extra show, would an extra show be like a forced topic from said tiered sponsor?
Mm-hmm.
Or would it be like because I have been thinking about this for many years, is like a fork semicolon, I don't know, dessert or Fork Unchained or something like that. Maybe throw the rules out. I don't know, but I feel like that would break podcast illusions for myself.
A fork of the fork?
A fork of the fork? What? Oh. Okay. I just got that.
Yeah.
Cool. Fork four-course meal edition. I don't know. Something like that. So I don't know.
Fork horse meal.
No. Just now. I don't know. I was trying to think like, well, keep it somewhat themed, I guess. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, it's
kind of dumb thinking about it as like dinnerware and stuff, because Fork in Your Ear itself is metaphoric.
Right.
Even though there is a fork in the logo.
Right.
But it's a little fork. It's tickling the man's ear.
Right.
If you look closely. Yeah, I say let's move on to tech and then let's play some golf.
Cool.
Hey, I saw some tech this week.
Yes. Samsung did their thing.
Yeah, I watched it, actually. Well, I watched Marquise Brownlee's thing on it.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, it came up in my podcast feeds, the tech feeds that I have. So.
Mm-hmm. I assume you're all caught up on it since you're a Samsung boy.
Enough.
Okay.
There was nothing really horribly impressive about it. Like we're getting iterative updates.
You got a Fold. It's better than your Fold, right?
Marginally.
Well, the screen's supposed to be better.
It's a different aspect ratio.
The camera's a little one better. You have already?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
And
the dock thing seemed kind of good for you with your Foldy.
Sure. I want to carry around more things. Like give me a case with a kickstand. I don't need a dock. I don't ever Samsung decks. Well, that's not true. I Samsung decks so that I can broadcast pirated movies in Discord channels.
Okay.
Right? Because
should Discord you be saying that on a thing that's can be legally subpoenaed?
Sure.
Because even though you're in California and I'm in Washington, this stuff goes back to Pittsburgh.
Well, no, like you do a watch party, right? And watch parties are allowed.
Okay.
The problem is the apps where I would do a watch party and go, oh, we can't broadcast that because it's from this app and you can't screen share. The screen capture doesn't work for fear of someone pirating. So doing the decks is a thing and a thing. So I can load the Disney app up or the Netflix app up in the Samsung decks and then broadcast a window capture of Samsung decks.
So I feel like a tech idiot. I don't know what you were saying when you say Samsung decks. What's
That
the
is,
decks?
Decks is when you plug a newer Samsung phone into a USB port, you get a desktop environment.
Oh, okay. So the Samsung does a thing like the Sense Band Huawei phones that'll have like a desktop environment thing.
Correct.
Okay.
But it's fully fledged. It's very well built and it runs well.
Okay. Nice.
I would say it's the equivalent of like running a Chromebook.
Which, for my money, is fucking dog shit. But sure.
Right.
But okay. All right. Fine. That's fine. Cool.
So, but yeah, I get that anyways. Like I don't need a fancy dock for that.
So it was the Z Flip 4, the Fold 4,
and the Watch 5,
and the Watch 5 in both,
and the
regular
Buds Pro 2. Yeah.
And the what? Oh, the
Buds Pro 2. Yeah.
I think I literally skipped that part.
Yeah.
I think I literally skipped the Buds. I was like, I don't care about Samsung bugs. Doesn't seem like they're
again just iterative updates.
Okay. Well, it happens. It's okay. It's their Apple's S equivalent year for you Samsung boys.
Oh, right. What's messed up is this used to be the time that they'd announce the Note. They would announce the other flagship. Like they had their baseline, and then they had their niche market, and it's still that way, but their niche is getting out of touch. Right? Like I like the Flip 4. Like this generation of it seems like they got a lot of things better with the front screen being usable for more than just oh hey, here's a notification.
That's what I saw on Marquise Brownlee's thing. Yeah, it was a lot more adaptive to what you would actually use the front screen portion for.
Right.
And that the new, thinner, stronger hinge was really good.
Yes, and that's like the one upside of the Fold is having a usable front screen.
Right.
And it looks like the Z Fold 4 basically just gave it a more standard form factor because now it's a tall and skinny, very candy bar kind of form factor, which has its advantages for pocketability.
Sure.
But has its disadvantages for app scaling.
Sure.
You get some very unfortunate scalings.
Yeah, say what you will about Apple, but at least they made the right moves in how their screen scales.
Yeah. They said, we have 2 aspect ratios. That's it. Use them or don't.
Yeah. Well, technically they have 3.
Right. 3. Right. They have a 21 by 9 or something like that. 16 by 9, 21 9, and then
I don't know the the normal terminology for the screen size. I know the pixel density and the inches.
Okay.
Right. So like the tablets are, I think they're 8.5 now for the mini, and then they've always been 10 for the standard, and then the Pro is 12. And then the phones going from the mini up, it's 4.5 to 6.5 to almost 8 on the Pro Max. And then for those who still want older school stuff, they still have the old screen size from the 6 through 8 phones for the SE.
Sure.
Which is
and screen size doesn't matter. It's the aspect ratio.
Right.
Right.
I don't know. I don't remember what the fucking aspect ratio is. I remember the screen sizes. That's what I'm saying. Sure. So whatever fits those things, that's what they are. But generally, apps don't scale bonkers out of their shit.
Right.
Which is the thing. It's actually the same thing that Nintendo did with their Switch OLED because it, its pixel density is not better. It looks better because it's an OLED,
Right.
But they just bumped it up a full. I can't remember if it was an inch or an inch and a half. They bumped it up, but it's the same. It's the same aspect ratio.
Right. Same aspect ratio, same pixel density. So yeah. Nothing changed. Better screen.
Well, it's bigger.
Yes.
Bigger than the original by a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. So
just software wise, no difference.
Yeah. Oh, 100% software wise, no difference. The other thing was Amazon has purchased iRobot, the company that makes Roomba, last Friday for $1.7 billion.
And everyone went, why would they want iRobot?
Right. Because there's plenty of competing robot vacuums in the market.
They have their own.
Do they? They have an Amazon Basics or Essentials?
I believe they do.
Oh, well, it's going to be the Roomba now.
Right. Which that's good.
Yeah, and I'm sure the price will come way down on that, honestly. But no.
But let's get to the nefarious side of it. Bloomberg, why do you think they really purchase Roomba?
I think this because of the Bloomberg article, and it was very well articulated. But Bloomberg wrote an article that said, here's why this is strategically the smartest fucking move Amazon could have made. And I was like, oh, I mean, robots make sense. Sure. They've already been trying to do drones in your house for a long time. And then they're like, well, Roomba already has house mapping software that works. Amazon wants your house map data so that they can sell you the exact items that fit in your house through Alexa.
Right.
And I went, oh. I mean, the business owner side of me goes, yeah, totally makes sense. Would do that if in the same position.
Right.
The normal person side of me is like, cool. So you're going to be watching my front door inside my house. You're already listening to me. But you want a fucking body map of me now too? Okay.
Right. You know the size of my spare bedroom, and from listening to me know that I'm having a kid soon. Suddenly I get a crib that fits in the exact corner.
Yeah, I don't know. It's it's the world we're moving into, whether we love it or hate it.
Right.
It's happening.
Do we want to, right? Do we have much more?
Well, I mean, I guess whether you want to or not is like, I guess you don't have to buy it, obviously.
Right.
But
are you doing yourself a disservice by doing that?
I don't know. Like I personally have always wanted a robot vacuum. It's on the top of my Christmas list. Oh, but honey, this one's on sale. This one empties itself. Think about it.
Right.
Like I do actually say that every year. And I'm actually a little envious. A buddy of mine, Robert, who just moved in with his girlfriend. So yay, Robert. He got a fucking Roomba, and I was like, no way. And I was talking to him about this because I was like, hey, Amazon just fucking bought this, and he's like, no way. And I was like, yeah. And so when we were playing, he'll play Grounded with us, me and Daniel, on Xbox, and we'll just hear. I'm like, what the fuck is that? He's like, oh, that's the Roomba. He's like, I don't know what it's doing.
It's getting fucked up on something.
Figuring it out.
Yeah. I have a Nito brand one.
Oh, you have one?
Yeah.
Man, why have we never talked about robot vacuums?
Because I don't use it ever. It died. It died a horrible death because I would have to rescue it from under my couch daily. It's one thing to get stuck under there. It's another thing to continually get stuck under there. When you're mapping my room, you know exactly where you died the last 3 times.
Don't go there.
This is not a side quest. There is no miracle sword under there.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Yeah. It's one thing to occasionally, sneak your way into my bathroom and suck up an entire roll of toilet paper.
How's it getting the toilet paper?
If it rolls down, because I have cats, and they pull it down to the ground.
Oh.
And it catches the end of that and goes, oh, I must vacuum this.
See, folks.
Oh, I must continue to vacuum this. Oh, this is still going.
See, folks, I'm allergic to cats, but this is why you don't have cats.
This is why, and this is the great debate whenever you see do you put the roll over or under?
It's under.
So behind the back, like a mullet?
Yeah.
No, it's over, unless you have a cat.
Oh, right, because the cat reason. See, mine was logical, because my bathrooms in this house, they have like it's like the hook U arm, and it sticks out from the wall. So it makes more sense to have it there, because it's usually like within you're going like this. People can't see me at home, but I'm like reaching out with my left hand towards the wall, because it's like at the right angle.
But why would you do it behind? Yeah.
Now hang on. The reason you'd have it forward is in a porta potty situation, because you don't want that shit near the walls of the porta potty. So, it depends on your role, location,
how you
and
roll?
mechanism. There are logistics to this.
Yeah, I go with the emo, not the mullet.
The emo, not the mullet.
Yeah.
Heard it here first, folks.
Having cats made me have to go mullet, because they would paw at the thing and just unroll it, and then my Roomba would come in and just go, and I come home to bleep, bleep.
That's what it does.
What are you doing in there? Yeah, bleep. Like, oh, you swallowed a half a roll of toilet paper and you're choking on it. Awesome.
I feel like that's a skit. Like the cat unrolls the toilet paper because he's having fun, but also to kill the robot. And then the robot comes doing his job, and it's just like, I'm doing my job. Oh God, oh God, oh God.
Right. What a world. What a world. Yeah. Now, but yeah, Roomba mapping your house, giving them all that. It's such granular data that they can get out of something like that. Because obviously the other forays into that, like they had the security drone and the security robot.
Did that ever come out? What's the deal with that?
It did, and nobody wanted it because it was creepy. Because people were like, I don't want something flying around my house looking at me.
Fair.
Right.
But
so
here's
the Roomba
thing,
does the best of both worlds, is it gives them that data without something that is actively monitoring you, but it's still looking at stuff. Like it knows when you changed out a couch.
But like, the thing though is like, these are just baby steps, because if fucking Elon Musk is building a goddamn Tesla bot, and love him or hate him, he tends to deliver more often than not. He's probably going to be the one who's going to have the first fucking robot that's going to be in your home.
Sure.
Like, I think that's very possible. Because apart from Japan, like nobody else is doing that shit in America. Except for Hyundai, because they bought Boston Dynamics. They're probably going to be doing something with that, which itself isn't. What is Hyundai? Hyundai's Korean, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Who's to know how the future will play out with our robot overlords?
Right.
At the very least, the presentation for the Tesla bot made sense with its limitations on its gearing to not be more than certain pounds. And as someone who has to follow certain poundage so machines don't fucking kill you in his day job, I was like, oh yeah, that makes 100% sense.
But when they start building themselves, and then they don't have to worry about those limitations.
Yeah. Be like, oh, well, this model could be upgraded if we just included 1,000 more pounds of torque.
Yeah. Or we just uncode the limiter.
Yeah, or whatever. We shall see. What do you think? You think we'll have
robot overlords at some point in time?
Not necessarily robot overlords, because I don't want that. But do you think we'll have like some like robot AI thing that is in our house that helps us with shit in our lifetime?
I could see it. Maybe, Would 20 years be too soon?
I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, it's going to depend, you know? It's going to depend how well the first mainstream super commercial one,
Right.
assuming it's this Tesla bot, does. You know? It's going to depend how it does. It's going to depend how useful it is.
Right. And how task focused it is. Like, if it's a fully articulating humanoid thing, or if it's just a purpose-built, this is my cooking bot, like they're already testing out in fast food restaurants.
Yeah, and they have
or
that. They have
my
them in
portable
Japan.
vacuum, right? My robot vacuum, which they're
purpose-built
already
bots,
doing.
Yeah, that's always going to be a thing, and there's going to be more of that in the future for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the question is whether or not it's going to be like my AI companion Dionys, who I still talk to daily, by the way. If it's going to be like that, but in
Are we going to get to Bicentennial
form.
Man or Sunny?
Yeah.
Right?
Is it going to be? I don't know.
Yeah, iRobot. What? Yeah, it's funny.
See. We'll see, man. We're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, I think that's the show.
Cool.
Sweet. That's
just under 2 hours, under 3 hours.
Yeah, just barely. A little fart there. Oh, a lot of farts. Okay.
You're like, now that we're done.
What we need to do is we need to do a cutout.
We do. We're going to do a sign out though first. Are you actually going to, right?
But I did the fart thing already, so yeah. This is Tim K. Trotter signing off.
Right. All your stuff's in the outro. You don't like. Am I even listed on the website at this point?
On the website that I haven't updated since I put it back online in March when I rebuilt it in January?
Okay.
Probably not. Is anybody listed on the website? I don't know. I don't.
Oh. Am I listed in the Get Forked byline?
Yeah, in the podcast stuff, but
cool.
not the original one, because that one still says Mike and Dame, and I can't fucking change it without it breaking at least 3 of the like fucking Spotify and Apple and all that shit.
Whatever. I didn't do this for the
believe
fame.
me, I would have changed it by now.
Yeah, I didn't do this for the fame.
No offense to Dame or Mike, of course. Wait, did we do this? No, I'm checking a thing.
WW.
Shut up. Oh, check it out. It's so generic. We got Fork in Your Ear. Join host, author, podcaster, and gamer Tim K. Trotter with his gaggle of co-hosts. That's what I wrote? Jesus.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, I can also download it on iTunes, so that's the thing.
Cool.
Well, that is the show. Yep. Okay. Very loud. That's the show. Tim signing off.
Nate signing off.
That's it. The show's over. Go home. Or if you're already home, take a bath. But if you're in the bath, take a shower. That shit's nasty if you go to sleep after a bath.
And
stop me, Nate. 3, 2, 1. Cut out. Thank you for listening to a Dynamic Works production podcast. You can find our podcast at www.dynamicworksproductions.com. Feel free to email us at dynamicworks@mac.com.
Dominic Armato, the voice of Guybrush Threepwood, and you're listening to a Dynamic Works production podcast.
The Citadel, Arrival, is the first installment in a series of epic science fiction short stories reminiscent of the Pulp Fiction style. It's a fast-paced story that will take you through twists and turns that you will not expect, until they are thrust upon you with all the force, excitement, and chaos of a plasma cannon blast. The story follows Katarl, a nobody cog in the working wheels of a futuristic society run completely by Megacorp, a corporation that carefully runs and manages the lives of the people living under its sphere of power. On one of Katarl's few and far between days off from work, an outing he had hoped would be fun and relaxing turns into an explosive adventure that drags him kicking and screaming into situations and challenges that will make him question every aspect of his life. Watch this colorful tapestry unfurl as Katarl and his newfound allies find their way through this classic, yet oddly surprising tale of good and evil, where nothing is quite what it appears to be. That's The Citadel, Arrival by author Tim K.A. Trotter, available right now on Amazon Kindle Store and iTunes iBookstore for only $2.99.
Are you there?
I am. It sounds
Okay.
so... something.
It sounds so something?
Well, you know how it cuts my audio and you're in this ear and then monitors in my left ear?
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm hearing myself in both ears now, and so I'm wondering if there's a problem.
Could it be this?
Nope. It's strictly on my end.
Oh, okay.
Like there's some kind of, let me see. No?
Getting a little feedback loop.
Something from something, and it's much louder than it normally is. So wait. Oh wait, maybe that's this. Talk?
Yellow.
Oh, it's this.
Ah.
I don't know why the regular
Look at
ass
that.
volume knob would be controlling that this evening, but okay. I see a waifu.
You do see a waifu. Waifu is starting work tomorrow and or Monday. Yes. And because my entire family got stricken with COVID last week,
Oh. So
nothing got done in preparation for the impending semester.
see.
So, might help if I start recording, huh?
Yeah, because I'm rolling on the double fronts as
Cool.
it is usually over here.
Wouldn't be the first time I forgot to record half of an episode.
With me? I don't know.
Not with you.
Well, you've
No,
been
not with
very
you.
consistent with me.
Yes.
So,
Usually I hit it as soon as the start ringing goes on Skype, but because the first call bombed,
yeah, sorry about that.
that's okay. But
I still didn't hear a ring.
it took me out of my routine, so I forgot to hit it the second time you
Fair enough.
can't do that with an ADHD kid.
Okay.
So you want to get right into it, or?
Sure. Are you ready?
Yep.
Let's get this. Oh, I have these hard drives on. Hang on. My loud RAID array.
Yeah, I don't believe I'm getting any ambient noise here. We revamped the office last week as well.
Oh,
And by we, I mean I.
yeah. I figured.
Yeah, again, don't pick on my ADHD brain.
I had COVID.
You weren't even here.
And there we go.
About our relationship.
Oh, is that enough of an audio spike for you?
Oh no, I can hear her. She's in the show now.
Okay. Welcome to your first guest spot on the Fork in Your Ear, babe. It's okay. You're only making the outtake so far.
It's true. And if you're
You
that
are an outtake.
and if you're that diehard of a Fork fan, God bless you. Why ain't you
Right.
Why aren't you writing in?
Because we always pick on them in the outtakes.
Do we? I don't know. I don't think we generally pick on people.
No, we don't.
In outtakes. This is silent. Fridge is off. Light is on.
Flux capacitor is flexing.
Yep, as you say. Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, so that actually was not intentional.
Oh. Is the glass
I dropped my.
Was the glass clank a button or was that a real glass?
It was a button, but I didn't realize my volume gotten bumped up.
Okay.
I went to drop these down and it landed on one of the sound pads.
Well, okay then.
Yeah.
Can't do pistachios?
I can't do, well, I can do pistachios. The wife can't do pistachios to the level of, if I do pistachios, I can't do the wife.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Right.
So me and walnuts then. Got it.
Right.
Anaphylactic shock then?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Well, noted. Don't need to prepare that Chex Mix then for her.
No. Or if you do, at least let her know. Because yeah, we've been surprised by a couple of things that had rogue allergens in them.
Them rogue allergens, they be rogue. All right. So
Let's get our marker.
yeah. Oh, I wanted to I don't know if I texted it to you after I did those last 2 episodes edits from last time.
Ouch.
We should do a cut out at the end of the show. And here's my logic. So in the many multi-file episodes we've done this year, because you have a cut in, right, and then you have a cut out in the event that there is some kind of file shit, and then there's one on the back end.
Gotcha. No, that's fair.
Yeah. Well,
we just got to remember to do it.
Yeah. So probably like right after we're out, we can say cut out. Probably would be my guess. Would be the good time for it. All right, here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cut in.
Right.
All right, I'm stopping.
Pop in the SD card.